presence so close. The can be in my mind's eye. Anything you want to say. Like your new legs. Talk, can be.
Alright, just went live. We'll go to about 2 minutes, minute and a half, and then we'll switch over.
What has become of you? Lost. I'm lost. And yet in his presence so close. The can be in my mind's eye. Anything you want to say. Like your new legs. Talk, can be. Look what has become of you. Lost. I'm lost. And yet in his presence so close. The can be in my mind's eye. Anything you want to say.
What's up, everybody? Today, I got some legends with me today. We have SwampGrass, and then we have Ranger. How y'all all doing?
I'll let Swamp
Doing good.
go
How about you?
first. Yes, the mighty Swamp. Yes, I think as good as it be. It's Friday, for God's sakes. I mean, that's a blessing, I guess. Yeah.
So, I do have some questions. I didn't tell them any of my questions I had. I made a list of questions for them. Also, let's go over just like a couple things to start off. Rabid Beaver will be joining us around 8. He's getting off work late, so if anybody wants to know about it. Okay. So when I came up with this, I had a list of questions. So Swamp, you start off first. So tell me about yourself a little bit that I wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, I work in construction. I work for a roofing company. I've been working there for like 15 years. I do hunting and fishing and general outdoors stuff, camping. It's kind of my main thing, and yeah, streaming for the last 5 years, SWGOH, and 4 years coming up on 5, and then yeah, just what else? I don't know.
Okay.
Long walks on the beach. I'm a Cancer.
I got 2 vehicles, and they're both pieces of junk.
Okay.
So I spend a lot of time working on them.
What about you, Ranger?
Well, my story is a little bit longer than that. I'm like the last of the OGs left from the days of 2016. I am the longest running live SWGOH content creator out there since before you were born. And I've been at it coming up. I'm over 9 years. It'll be 10 years next year. I've been playing the game since day one. And some other stuff about me. If you don't know, I'm an ex-Army Ranger. I used to be in a band, all this other stuff. I'm just a full-time content creator now. I stream a lot. I'm partnered with my channel, Reality Gamers, with the American Cancer Society. raising a lot of money for charity. And through that, we do stuff like events for them, children's hospital visits, other things of that nature. And I dress up during those events. And also, we raise money through me wearing costumes like the full Mando costume, doing MegaCon and parades and everything like that. So, yeah, giant nerd and proud of it. And oh, I don't know. Drink a lot of bourbon, work out a ton, stay hydrated, lots of meat. That's it.
Okay. That's some things I didn't know about you. Like, I know you've been here longer than I have. But yeah, there's some things I didn't know right there. What's up, Stan? What's up? Hail my soul. Welcome in. All right. So I do have a couple more. What's this? A few months back, I faced Ranger in GAC. It was one of the matches he didn't stream. Oh, damn.
That's very rare. Something must have been going on that weekend or something. But all you got to do is message me, and I will be more than glad to. You know, I mean, God, GAC. Yes, I will be more than glad to do that.
What's your
I must have something going on. Yeah, go ahead.
what's your GAC rank?
3,700 something. I always stayed mid tier, between 37 and 3,900 in Kyber 1. I just am not interested in. I've been to the top. I've been top 300 before. I didn't like it. Yeah, it's ugly. So I'm happy to be between that range of GAC, right in the middle. I don't really have anything to prove. I mean, for me, like GAC is more about, I treat GAC as a fun time, but because I do enjoy it and I enjoy the interaction with the Pepos. But for me, it's more like what's working, what's not working. I get suggestions and I'll try them and I'll look at them and look at the data and I'll try to place those teams for offense and defense, mainly as a tool for other players to use as a guide to see what works and what doesn't work. So for me, that's kind of my philosophy on GAC. There's too much RNG involved with the damn thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different. Anybody watches mine, like I get pissed, like that.
I'm pissed too.
Like I get mad. Like it. Like I'm a very competitive person. Like I'm at 3604 right now, so I'm on the edge of Kyber 1, almost to Kyber 1. I'm like 100 under you. Like I said, I'm super competitive. When things don't work, I'm like, fuck this game, you know what I mean? Then I'm just like, I try to hold it in, but sometimes it just comes out at the end. I'm just like counters that say 99% is supposed to work on SWGOH.GG don't work. And then I'm like, what the? It just comes out at the end. And I don't mean to. It's not good for a streamer, but sometimes it just comes out. It just comes out. But yeah, it happens. But Swamp, what rank are you right now?
Oh, I had like 2 months there where I wasn't really playing GAC all that much because I was working on a project, doing an auto body project for my car. And yeah, it just consumed a load of my free time, way more than I had anticipated. And yeah, I dropped like mega. I'm down. Dropped all the way down to chromium. So I've been climbing up from
Jesus.
there.
Oh my God.
So it's been.
I bet some people hated you. Oh boy.
Well, the weird thing is, when I first kind of returned to it, I was facing all these people that were like 11.5 million, like with 8 or more GLs, and I'm like, this is chromium? Like, how are people competing down here? That's crazy. But no, it has actually been pretty easy, so it's good.
Swamp went 12-0, 9-0 in chromium.
Yes, I would hope so. Yes.
Not
yes.
quite. I lost one because there was this dude that had like 9 GLs and he just put everything on the front, and like, yeah, I just can't do anything with that.
Yeah, and unless you have like the counters and the crons to to get around, like not even using your GLs as a counter to some of that. Sometimes you have no choice, right? But
Yeah.
a lot of times it's on a lot of people's rosters, they get frustrated because there's certain other counters like Bo or certain, certain crons that exist, like Dr. Afra beating the snot out of Jabba on offense, those kind of things. But, it makes it hard when someone puts down 9 GL, so you don't have any of those teams. And you put down 4 GLs, you're like, you bastard. Oh, I'll find you. I know where you live. I don't, but I'll find out.
Ping their IP address.
The information is out there.
Yeah.
So when I took a break last January, like from November to January, because I took a break, I just got burned out. So I was just climbing. I couldn't break the ceiling where I was at in GAC. I took a break and I had to start from Chromium where Swamp was. It was fucking easy as peasy. But I have all the things. But I understand if you don't have all the things, how do people climb out of Chromium, Bronzium, Carbonite? Like, because I'm seeing
There are some huge accounts.
11, 12 mil. And they would actually attack me. It wouldn't just be one attack and then no, they would actually hit me and try to win.
Yeah, it's not all of them, but it's like, I don't know, a handful of bullies sitting down there in Chromium.
Yeah, I'm just like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I was like, I will smack you around.
They typically, when I see opponents like that, GC is just not a priority for them. They're more into the TW or TB, or they're focusing on other stuff, and they'll have big accounts and they'll spend, but it's just they just don't have the time to commit to GAC like something, and they may not enjoy it. Once in a while, like you said, they'll attack you back, but if it seems somewhat competitive or something like that. But yeah, I have quite a few people that watch me that are like that, and it's like, okay, you don't like GAC, I got you. I'm respect.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
So often, viewers will like show me stuff in what's the bottom one? Carbonite? Yeah, they'll show me stuff in Carbonite that I'm like, wow, that's nuts. Just huge. Somebody just chilling down there, messing with people, I guess.
What's up, Dark Blocks? Welcome. Just reading everybody's stuff here. My girlfriend is in Carbonite 3, and yeah, some of these guys are double her GP with 7 GOs. Yeah, I don't know how they climb. Like, I feel like this is not one of the topics, but since we're on the move now,
Sure.
I don't like the GAC system, like the matchmaking. I feel like to get these, like, we need new players in the game, right? It's an old game. It's an old mobile game. Everybody knows that. To have people have fun at GAC, you got to get these people to move up. Like, if I'm stuck in Chromium all the time and I'm facing double my GP, is that fun? And you lose? Like, when you lose 50% of your battles, it sucks. Like, I had a rant other stream, and I was like, ranting. Because I'm facing 14 mil. I beat the guy, but I beat him because he didn't know how to beat my teams. But he was 14 mil. And I'm only 12 mil, by the way. But he had everything R9. Only thing he didn't have was the new pirates and stuff like that. But think about people that are in Chromium. So,
it's
like,
the flaws of the system. Yeah, I've been up CG's ass about that a long time, but they have not really touched PvP in, many years. It's been a lot of PvE content, like new conquests, the raids, stuff in TB, things of that nature, characters, things of that nature. We haven't seen a ship besides punishing one, which threw everything off, and he almost shit forever. So it just has not been a priority for them. And don't worry, myself and other content creators have been up their ass about that. Like we need to look at GAC matchmaking. There has to be a cap. I don't care if you have a certain amount of GP, you will only fall to this level, no more, right? And other things of that nature, because it sucks, right? My mic is not working.
I hear you fine.
Yeah, me too.
Let me check. Hold on. Checking.
When you speak, the audio is coming through my desktop audio. Yeah, sounds fine to me. Just refresh the page. If it's not, Nev. Welcome in, Nev. Welcome in, Christian.
But yeah, so and then TW needs just an overhaul. The system is completely borked at the moment. So, but that's something CG's gonna have to commit to. So until such time, yeah, it sucks, and I hate it for a lot of players too that tell me these horror stories. But it's we just have to deal with what it is right now until CG does something about it. So yeah.
What's your thoughts, Swamp?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It would be rough for, smaller accounts trying to climb and, probably not the most positive experience. So I could see, I could see there being definitely room for improvement. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just like. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what that would look like though, per se.
Well, the old system had a little cap. Like, we've all been playing for that long, so I just wanted to.
Yeah.
They had a cap where you had a certain GP, you were this. That's why people didn't level up characters and stuff because they didn't want to get in a higher thing, face higher people. But it used to be your GP. You hit this, then you could move up to the next, and then people would be around there. It wouldn't have a matchmaking skill rating system. That's how the old system was. And I did well. I did very well actually. I went 11-1, 10-2. No, I was smoking fools. But yeah, but right now, and I feel like we have the skill rating, but I feel like it needs a, like Ranger said, I've always been saying this, a GP limit. You can't be falling to chromium when you're 14 mil or carbonite, because if somebody, so
Yeah, you can be any GP to climb to the next bracket, but there should be a cap on that bracket of players that with high GP that can't fall a certain level, right? Because you want those people that have lower GP but are really competitive, that that will be competitive and can compete and will try, right? And that's fine. If you want to go up to another bracket, that's fine. But we got to have some kind of control over that, and it's we're on a we're on a holding pattern, kids, until the CG decides that that's they're going to change it. So
what was the other community manager's name?
Which one? I've gone through a lot over the years.
Nah, he's still active, but we haven't heard from him in a while.
Crumb? Yeah, I still talk to Crumb. He's Crumb. I pray to Crumb. God, I spent more time with that man than anybody.
He's well. When I think it was last time he did a puzzle, he said that they was working on PvP content. That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but nothing ever came about it.
Yeah, nothing came. So I'm just like, where is that? Like, they're supposed to redo something in GAC or Territory Wars. Territory Wars is god awful.
Swamp, I mean, you guys tell me this. It seems to me that they've been focused on, with a lot of the new packs and the way they've changed marquees and the way that they've done with the new relic system and everything out that they put out for the last, I'd say, year. It feels like they're trying to go for new and mid-tier players more than anything else to get caught up. Seems to be their focus. I don't know if you guys feel about that, but just looking at the lower prices of packs, the amount of packs that have come in, the marquee system being the way it is, the new changes to relics and all this other stuff, places you can get gear, things, all this stuff, right? That's what they seem to be their focus is on. But besides the high-end stuff with the raid and everything, but am I crazy? That just seems what it looks like.
Yeah, definitely a lot of catch-up mechanics in the shop, especially with the packs and all that kind of stuff. But also too, they're getting a little bit more greedy with each pack they come out with too. They're like, how much can we make these where people will still buy them, right?
Right.
So one thing I have been seeing, all right, we don't have like super wells anymore. Like, they've retired and stuff. I feel like their target. Go ahead.
They're still there. They're still there. Yeah.
I feel like they're targeting, because remember, I feel like now you can get a character by $150. You used to be like 300 some. Now they're making it. I feel like they're targeting, like you were saying, the mid range. When I say mid range, is like, if I know I can get a character for like $100, and it's like the last clone or something, and I need it. Yeah, if you ain't telling my wife, I'm gonna dig down in there and go get it, okay? but I feel like it's targeting like mid players that spend that mid. Well, how you would say that? Dolphins, basically. People would actually spend not like mega well money, but they're trying to grab people, especially these light speed tokens. Spend $20, you get one character relic 5. So
Not a bad deal though.
it's not.
That's an insane offer. Any character relic 5. That's crazy. I saw that in the store and I was like,
I was like, who can I upgrade?
And then I look, I'm like, there's nobody I would want to upgrade. I have all the characters, I'm not taking Ugnaught up, so that's out. Farm Boy Luke, no. So I'm like, but that's not for us. It's not for us players that have been here a long time. That's for that newer player that wants that character at Relic 5 and stuff. I think the Lightspeed bundles are extraordinary. And I mean, CG's learning, right? The price point was too much. And if you're going to want more players to invest, I think the new era episode, and there's problems with it, but the marquee system itself has improved drastically, right? Because with the introduction now of, although I don't know why we had to wait a month for it, but then the era battle, stuff that just came in. You're getting free shards at tier 1 and tier 2 for those players. So again, it's just these little things that they're doing, and a pack might come out for a Lightspeed bundle like $39.99, but the next time you see it, it's $29.99 or $19.99 because CG is looking at those numbers and saying, okay, we didn't have as many people purchase this one as say this one, right? So yeah, it's been wild the last year to see the transition, as you mentioned, because really the big spenders, right? I still know them. They're in the game still. Karth and other folks that I know, these gigantic accounts, they have nothing to spend on. Yeah, they'll get the new character, but I mean, pennies on the dollar to them.
It's cheaper rate now.
And also it's kind of less exclusive for them too, right? So it's not like it really, gets them going like, oh yeah, I'm going to be one of 20 people that have this character or something.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's still some exclusivity. I mean, I'm feeling people in my guild with Mace, right? Like I'm averaging 14.8 in the raid, I think. That's because I just don't give a shit about Bad Batch. I just go in and press on, basically. I could get a higher score, but I have Mace, so I'm able to get that additional 3.6 million. So that's the exclusivity that people are talking about. And then
that's true.
With Hondo coming in. So there is still some exclusivity with the game. But yeah, it really has changed drastically because we've all been around. I mean, those days of those 300, I gave up on that a long time ago. I mean, I used to buy characters, but I'm like $300 minimum is just too much, man. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
I remember it being like, I would hear about like a person I know that got the new character when the legendary event had a first iteration. But then now it seems like, 5 people in this guild, 10 people in that guild. Like it's a little bit more available for the average spender.
Yeah. So we do have some questions in the chat. I'll go over them real quick. We'll do Nev first. Nev, I don't know if this is a question or not. It's like a statement. They need to have a league above Kyber for the top 1,000 elite players in the world. Players need a new incentive to play GAC.
Hello, Governor. That's my old homie from the days of covering everybody doing JAC. I agree, but
they need to expand the board, or they just need to make the 1,000 people like.
They do. I mean, but if you want to have the top players, I don't even say top 1,000, I say top 500, because that's really when it gets super competitive. With the accounts, the size of the accounts, the Datacron investment, right? That's where you see a drop. When you get top 500, man, let me tell you, it is a different world. Like you better have spent some money and you better have everything. And it's not just that you have, because really my account compared to say someone at 15 million, it's literally the same. It's just that they have more relic 9s. They have all the Datacrons, but they have the Datacrons with the level 3 6s and stats that you need on those Datacrons to make them effective. You're just kind of like whatever I got tons of Datacrons, but then that's the competitive difference at those levels. When you get to those levels, but I think top 500 would be better. Like, I don't, what would we call it? Platinum, the Kyber, the
Titanum. I don't know. Titanum.
Ashen Boken. I don't know. Shit.
Oh, Beskars. I think somebody said a month ago, Beskar armor or something.
Beskar?
Yeah, something like that.
What about like the I don't know if they have a different name for like the Kyber crystal after the Sith makes it bleed.
That's still Kyber
It has
crystal.
a different name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still Kyber. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they either got to expand the board or they've got to, because right now, like I like 3v3 more. I don't know, there's a lot of people gonna be like, "Fuck you," but I like 3v3 more than 5v5 because 5v5 you can put 9 teams down, 11 actually, 11 teams down, but there's so many counters, so many things. We have so many teams. If you have a big enough roster, you can dive deep into your roster and be like, "All right, I messed up on this. Boom, 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 I can do this." But if they would expand the board, like some of these teams will become relevant because, okay, like perfect example is Imperial Remnant, the Bros, and Enoch. They're decent in 3v3, but I feel like they would become more relevant in 5v5 if they've expanded the board a little bit, and we need that team.
Well, I think the expansion should be very limited because last time they did an expansion, it was for the entire system, especially in Kyber, which was really nasty because a lot of players that had these extra teams and ships and stuff were like, "Holy God," right? And they just didn't have the rosters. And I'm like, well, let's just limit it. If you want to, let's say Beskar, we create a new Beskar division. That gets the expanded board. Kyber 1 for sure, and then Kyber 2. I think past that, even Kyber 3 to 5, you have such a different range of players in there. So I think you kind of leave that where it is. But I think the top of Kyber or creating a new division, they would have the expanded board. But CG just goes, "Hey, everybody, here's 4 more teams." Like, well, yeah, that's fine for me and these guys here, but that's not so good for everybody Kyber 3 down because that puts additional stress on their accounts that they just don't have that kind of stuff, it's wild how CG just does a blanket change. It's like little tiny thought, maybe little thought on this, please.
I mean,
More than 5 seconds.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, top 500, the Kyber 1, top 500, go to the Beskar. You need an extra ship on offense and defense. You need you have an extra zone.
Is there enough ships to do that?
We have enough fleets to do that.
I mean, one of the shitty fleets will become relevant, but I mean, Negotiator, Malevolence will become more relevant then. I mean, Negotiator is pretty good right now. It counters a lot of things, but Malevolence will become relevant. Radis become relevant. Yeah, I mean, it would really make ships harder, and eventually, they're going to come out with another ship.
Oh,
I hope so.
Oh, I mean, if you've seen, if you go to SWGOH events, and I hope everybody does, and you see the images and stuff, and just the talk that goes on there. This is my hot take. It's not a hot take, really, but this next era episode is going to be ships. It's going to be all ships. It's going to be capital ship and all the ships you're going to need for pirates. That's going to be the new introduction for it.
I've heard that.
I could be completely grossly wrong, but I just think that as many characters as we've had this year, legendary and the GL and everything else associated with the raid, if they try to introduce a whole new faction and still not touch ships, people are going to riot. So I think CG's plan was that the last half of the year for the holidays, ships, and I've been all over them about, what do we do with ships? I mean, what the hell? It's like, either commit to ships and make it a viable, steady thing, or don't. Like if you want to do something once a year, fine, that's okay, but at least something every year. You know, as I said, Punishing One being the only ship in the last year and a half is insane. That's
Yeah.
insane for a thing that is as important as it is in TW and GC, and also your climb in arena. You know, your fleet arena for your crystals and stuff. You know, so I mean, but they seem so Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde on ships. It's hot, it's cold. It's hot, it's cold. Like we get these big stuff like Leviathan, then nothing.
Nothing for 2 years.
And then we get Punishing One as an offer that's like, are we even buffing what? You know, and then that throws everything in, and then nothing for almost you know, forever since then. So it's just like, let's be more consistent with ships. You know, have some part of your release. If you're gonna do the air episode thing, make sure ships is a part of it, because some people do care about ships. It's a fun thing for them, right? From the movies and stuff, that has a lot of nostalgia and things for people that are more into ships than some of the characters. So they got to be more consistent with that. It's really driving me nuts.
Yeah, I always say too, ships is something that differentiates this from other hero collector games. Like I've played tons and tons of hero collector games, and they always, you know, they're more or less the same. You know, you have some variance in the different progression styles and stuff like that, but then ships, like I don't think any game I've ever played has like that in depth of like a uh side roster kind of thing. So I think that's something that they have that's really unique, and you know, to capitalize on that, make it good, make it better constantly. That's the best thing you could do.
Like what Ranger said about the pictures, I did. Some people like T Max and Icy, they were like, Trevor, make sure you're going for a Hondo because there's ships coming around the corner. Because he said, we saw the images, like Ranger just mentioned. And he's like, if you don't go for the ships, they're going to force you to go for the ships. And then you'll be behind. Because I got behind on Levy. I just got Levy a couple months ago, to be honest with you. I was in Hyper 2 and never, I had a 5-star Levy. And then now I have a 7 stars. I've had it for months. But I just say when I spend the crystals. But now, yeah, you don't want to get behind. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm going for the new Hondo GL. Make sure it's especially Smuggler Run 3, all the good stuff. I mean, if they come out with a pirate ship, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, because it's gonna shake up a lot of things. Like can it counter Levy? What can it beat? What's the requirements? Do they have enough characters to have 5 more? Well, yeah, is it 3? Yeah, have enough pirate factions to get us a capital ship by then.
Now,
Yeah, I
if you
would
look
say.
at go ahead, Swamp.
I was just gonna say all the sort of recent marquees. I think a lot of those are pilots. At least Captain Athanos, um, Silvo, and Brutus. Not sure about the rest, but
Maz will have a ship of
by a
some sort.
Maz.
You know, yeah, Hondo. You know, there's plenty of ships that they can come up with for these characters to justify a pirate something. We still have Silvo and some other characters still to come too. So you're gonna have a ton of pirates in this game that they could give ships to, and it'll be okie dokie. Just warning you. Just don't be surprised when it happens.
I think even Infus Nest back in the day had a ship in that movie.
Yeah, I've got her behind her on her speeder bike. I can't remember her ship, but yeah, she did have. She flew away on it on the. She went to it on after the train heist, the mid part of the movie. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched Solo.
Yeah, same. But I do feel like there was a ship. But yeah,
Everybody had to get out of there somehow.
That's
yeah.
right.
I mean, they just didn't teleport. But yeah, I feel like that's a good question. All right, another question we have is from Hell Ate My Soul. Don't you think though that players who don't GAC will get the higher crystal rewards if they can't drop below a certain point?
I don't really care if they get to, like, let's say there's a 11 million but they're at the bottom and they just don't give a shit about GAC. I'm okay because their count justify having that many crystals anyway. Really that concerned about crystals. I'm more concerned about the competitive players one, trying to move up, and two, I'm also worried about the mid-tier players that are trying to do what they can in these other leagues that are getting this raffle stomped, and the person just has to put a defense down and they're toast. Like they got no shot, and you see it all the time. And it's like, well, yeah. So the trade-off is those kind of players that actually are more active in GSC have a better chance of moving up and getting better crystal rewards than some slacker that doesn't give a shit and is just stuck at a certain point getting crystals. I'll take that trade for those other players that are more participatory in the event.
Swamp?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair assessment. Like, I mean, if people are, collecting their, like, doing their one and done and collecting their whatever, just the participation rewards or whatever, if their rewards are less, I wouldn't be too upset about that. Like if they spread out the league and those people got a little less, that'd be fine by me.
Yeah, I just feel like they need something. I don't know. I feel like when I started the game, GAC was the something to chase. I still think of it in my head, but I feel like other people need something to chase in Grand Arena. Why play Grand Arena? It goes back to Nev's question too, but I just feel like they've got to ramp it so that people want something to chase. Obviously, the crystals. That's most what everybody wants. Basically, that's our money in the game. But, I mean, I don't know. Is that just me, or is that just an old player be like, well, Grand Arena is my favorite game mode, PvP. But, I mean, if you're a newer player, why play Grand Arena?
Yeah, just for your crystals, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, for a lot of people, PvP is what makes the game fun, even at those low levels too, right? So
I mean, if you see your favorite streamer, streaming Grand Arena, when I was growing up, it was, Arnold playing Grand Arena, and then, you're like, damn, I want to play Grand Arena. And then I'm just like, now is just like, if you're matched up with the 14 or 12 million Chromium, it's like, damn, fuck Grand Arena. So I'm just like, I don't know. Other question. Yeah, I saw that. We're gonna go over that last, but I'll go over yours right now. As Helma Soul said, I put this in Discord in case you didn't check there. I like to know from each of you, if you retired from the game, what's the achievement you would like to have before retiring?
I have no idea. That's a great question.
That is a great question. I don't even know the achievements. I have to look them up.
I don't do achievements, though, but I'm just thinking of just like achievement, maybe not a game achievement, but something I accomplished in the game that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's easier to think of like achievements that I have achieved than achievements that I want to achieve in the game, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, not that there's any shortage of things that I want. Like, I want to get all the GLs and I want to, R9 everything in the game, but that's not necessarily like I want to do that before I retire.
Yeah, and GP, like I'm gonna would help. I mean, like top 100 GC could care less. 50 million GP could care less. What would be something in the game that would be pretty sweet?
If I could get 3 Clone Wars Chewbacca shards.
I'll tell you the achievement that 2 achievements that I still want that I work on religiously. Ready? 1, hit a mod, non-speed arrow, 30 speed. I've been working on that. I've never hit one.
That would be cool.
29, 28. And the other one is to get above a goddamn 15. I've only got 115 in my entire career rolling all these packs with all these new characters. that would be an achievement for me. I mean, the goal is to get a 330 on a pool. Like everybody sends me screenshots all the time, just rubbing that salt can, right? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm over here rolling 5s and 11s all over the place, you know, and it's just like, that's just nasty. Come on now, you know, congrats, but go to hell, you know.
Yeah, I had one of those when I was like not even serious about the game yet, so I kind of thought it was like a normal thing, and it led me to start spending a bunch of crystals, not realizing that. Yeah,
I've never gotten a 330 as well.
Yeah, it's so bad, and I'm just like, if I can get one or both of those things before I retired, I would like, yeah, I did what I needed to do, you know, because that's pretty cool. But outside of that, so yeah. Bastards won't let me, goddamn Illuminati from Capital Games. They're always watching.
yeah, I actually like that. Now that you said that mod one, I'm gonna steal that because that would be also a very joyous day for me.
That's like unicorn. Both of those are unicorns for me. It's like, you know, if I get those two things, I think that I could retire from this game if it ended, you know, it ended the next day after. Like, well, I did what I needed to do. So if I not got those two, because I've got all the characters and I've done the things, but yeah, those would be two things I'd like to knock out.
Go ahead, Swamp. You got any achievements you want to knock?
No, I was just saying, I'm stealing that mod one. That sounds really cool to me because yeah, really, I can't think of anything else like specific in the game. Like I said, sure, I would love to have all the GLs, but it's not like that's something that I'm actively, you know, oh, I need that before I retire kind of thing. You know what I mean? Not that I really am going to retire. It's not on my mind at all.
So
a what if, you know?
Yeah.
So mine, probably not achievements in the game. Like it's in the game, but it's not like you get achievement badges. I was thinking while Ranger was talking, I would probably, if it ended tomorrow, and if I could get probably I'd be happy with top 1,000 in Kyber 1. And mod score at 10. Like I'm at 7 right now, mod score. 7 point something. If I could get a mod score like 10, I'd be, because I'm very big on mods. So yeah, those are the two big things for me. Like, yeah, I'll be happy with those. Like I'm always modding. Like I'll wake up like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, well, I'll do some mods before I go lay back down, and then I'll just re-roll them. They're always like, you get fucking streamer luck, and I'm like, I just wake up at random times and I'll just re-roll something, and then I've got a 29. I got a couple 29s, not many, but I do have like 2 or 3. But
I feel like I get better luck off stream.
Yeah, when they're not watching you.
Yeah.
Coffee break.
Yeah,
right after the stream,
I get great mods when I'm not streaming, but it's like whenever I roll anything above a 20 on any mod, it's like it's Armageddon's around the corner. It's what it feels like when I'm streaming. It's horrible. That's why we call it mod depression on my stream. It's horrible.
All right, what's perfect score? Hi, welcome. Empire, welcome. What's up, gang? Perfect score. Yeah, this is SwampGrass. He's been in my streams a couple times. And this is Ranger. Ranger is been with the community a long time. He's been a streamer for a lot longer than I've even thought about streaming. But yeah.
Welcome.
Long time.
As I said, well before you were born. Yeah. I was a young man when I started this game, and now I'm
all right, so I do have, let's get some more questions here. Let's see, I have my list here. All right, so non-Star Wars related, it can be, but do you guys have any special hobbies?
What makes the difference between a hobby and a special hobby?
Yeah, like we're
well, I just put special in there. I mean, just a hobby.
Hey. Hobbies are all special.
Just like just a hobby that we all know you guys stream, But it's like, what would?
I'm big into fantasy stuff. You can't see it, but like over here, I've got like anime. People send me this stuff. It's not like I started this collection based off of people sent me in the past, birthdays and stuff like that. If you ever seen one of my birthday streams, they're insane. But I'm big into anime and just fantasy in general. I'm big into 40K and other stuff like that. I listen to a lot of stuff. I like reading books. I read a ton. But I like to collect that kind of stuff. So like I've got all the Hokage from Naruto on my shoulder here, the 1/6 size version, right? And some other characters. So yeah, when I'm not streaming, if I'm not learning something or watching something sciencey or something, I'm either watching anime or, being into anime. I mean, my entire life has been anime since I was a young kid. So I'm big into manga and anime, watching those in the background while I'm doing stuff or videos or anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of my passion, is that.
Swamp?
Yeah, for me, my hobby is having way too many hobbies. I have I have so many hobbies. Yeah, I'm really huge into Marvel, like my whole life, Marvel comics, Marvel anything Marvel. Um, Star Wars, obviously. I love Star Wars. I do podcasts with Andy and Eldor. That's a fun hobby, but lately we haven't really got together to do an episode, but we will, I'm sure, soon. So that's a fun hobby. Yeah, hunting and fishing, like I said earlier, with camping and all the outdoorsy stuff, I'm big into it. Anime to some extent. I love watching anime, maybe not quite as intense on the collecting side of things as Ranger there, but I do love watching some anime here and there. And, big fan of a lot of movies from my teenage era, like the Lord of the Rings, Matrix, Terminator, all these things. I'm really big into them. What else?
Comes with Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor, anyone in the chat? Have you seen her? Come on.
And lately, cars, learning all about how things work with cars, because like I said, I have 2 piece of junk vehicles, and that's by design. Basically, parts are cheaper, and I'm learning how to fix them and do it myself, and that's kind of a whole new hobby for me that I've been very immersed in over the last 2-3 years. Yeah, fitness. I love, going for walks, working out, things like that. Playing sports if my buddies are not too busy, which these days is less and less of a thing, but love getting out and playing some shinny. That's a recreational hockey game for anybody who doesn't.
I didn't know what that was. I was like, what is shinny?
Yeah, it's just when a bunch of guys get together at
you need to watch Shorzy.
Yeah. It's just when a bunch of guys are like, yeah, let's go play, and then we just go down to the rink, have some beers, and shoot the puck around and hit each other senselessly. But yeah, it's good times.
So
yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I have had a lot of hobbies in the past. I used to be really into photography and stuff like that, but not as much these days.
All right.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Maybe.
So, my hobbies, and we'll answer another question in the chat here. I'm a busy person. I do a lot of things. I probably do too many things, and then it binds me down. So, but I'm a big sports person. I do fantasy leagues. I watch a lot of football, a lot of basketball. I'm big into college football. You won't see me on Saturdays. What else? TV shows. I'm a big. I like cop shows. Law and Order SGU is one of my favorites. It's going on for 20 seasons. 20.
It's like 25.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like, I won't watch it when it first comes out. I will binge watch it, season after a season after a season.
I'm the same way with any show. Yeah.
I'll binge watch it. Like it'd be like 1 and 2 in the morning. Well, I'm not tired, so I'm like, let's go binge watch the show. I like medical shows, cop shows. Basically, these are like any medical and cop shows I really like. We just finished. I'm big on. I don't know if you guys have seen it, Boys on Prime Video.
Oh, yeah, The Boys.
The
Yeah.
Boys.
The boys. Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving that when it comes out, the new season, because I have one of my favorite actors play Dean Winchester. He's in it again. So it's not for like the young kids. It ain't that. It's just like you have to be.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it has. You got to be a little bit older than like 14 or 15 years old to watch that. But I don't even let my kids watch that. They're like, "Daddy, what are you watching? Get out of the room!" And then, but yeah, I like.
I don't think that would even be close to appropriate.
My wife's like, I can't believe you're watching this. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, it definitely tries to push the boundaries.
They break the boundaries in that show. I mean, oh my! If you've not seen The Boys, spoilers, they do some outrageous shit, sexual content in there. That's like,
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
gore
That
and,
world. Oh my god!
yeah.
I won't say what, but if you've seen the show, you know exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Boy,
So yeah, like any good action movies, I do like that. The Boys in the Mating. See, I watched it with my it's an amazing show. I love it. Like it's that they said it was gonna come back in September, so that's one of my.
Yeah.
I like playing. I do coach basketball and basketball and soccer with my kids. A lot of people that watch the stream know that. So that's just one of my hobbies where I'll coach not like my kids are like middle school and elementary. So, but yeah, those are one of my 2 hobbies. And then, Swap, you had all these hobbies. I'm like, when do you have all time for all these hobbies and stream and work full time?
Yeah, plus I play like 20 different mobile games.
I'm like, what the hell? Make me look like
it's crazy. Yeah,
I do a
sometimes
lot
when
of-
I reflect on stuff, I'm like, how do I have time for all this?
I'd rather be busy than not busy. I'm just, for me, I work out and do other stuff too. I just, I love sports. It's just I have to have something I'm doing. It's just doing nothing drives me up the
Yeah.
it's just, I gotta be somehow engaged in something that's keeping me sane from, the doldrums of, and there's sometimes we're doing stuff we don't want to do. There's work and other things, and then there's stuff that we do because it makes us happy. It brings us joy. It brings us pleasure, And so if there's not an anime available, I'm looking at something else. If I'm not doing that, I'm at the gym. I'm doing something in SWGOH. If I'm doing something in SWGOH, it's just a constant thing of being active. I think is the better way to be than just sit on your couch, be miserable. I can't do that. It drives me up the wall.
I like it.
A huge thing for me is like I said before, I like going on walks, which sounds like whatever, but before I never really
Right.
used to walk around too much out because I'd just drive everywhere. And then a few times I my vehicles broke down for a couple days and I end up walking more than usual. And I just noticed just that alone, walking walking a few kilometers or miles or whatever every day, you just feel so much better all the time. So like mentally and physically. So
I mean, just working out in
huge into
general.
it. Yeah,
it just makes I have to work out now. It's like because I stopped for a few years and got really pudgy, and so it just makes a difference in your day. For me personally, I get up in the morning, first thing I go to the gym, and that starts my day off the right way. Get up, get a workout in, get the day started. I'm active. I may be a little sore depending on the workout, but it's got me going. So yeah. But even if you can't, and just a simple walk. First thing in the morning, go for a walk. Don't drink any coffee. Don't do anything. I cannot tell you how good that is for you health wise to do something like that. Like when I get up in the morning, I drink some water. I go to the gym, work out, I come back, and I don't usually eat till much later. But you just feel better. You know, you just feel healthier. You feel, you know, you don't feel as just run down, especially if you're working a full-time gig as well. Where, trying to work out after you've been at the office 8 to 10 hours sucks, you know. So at least, you know, you're more energized at work and just, yeah, everything.
Okay. I took a couple walks this week. I did feel better afterwards, but
Good. Good.
so we have another question.
One of those
Go ahead.
things where like, oh, sorry, I was just saying it's one of those things where like, you know, say you're going to the store to grab something, and if you think about it and you're like, hey, I could walk. It only takes me like 25 minutes or something like that. You know, just doing that every here and there is, you know, it's just feels good.
Nah, kids. I told the kids I like get all off the Xboxes. I said we're taking a walk. Made them get outside. We all took a walk, and then
Some grass.
and then we.
Yeah.
They're like, we want to walk farther. I'm like, well, this is all Daddy can do right now.
You guys go on.
They're younger than me. I'm like, yeah.
You go all the way down there and come back. I'll be here waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'll catch up to you. But we do have another question. Hell ate my soul. She's got a lot of questions today. Question for me: what are your thoughts if CG removed crystals from Fleet Arena like they did with Squad Arena, and what would you see them boosting crystals in another area to compensate?
The natural progression is TW, but they have to do it the way like they did with JC, where players at different level gain a boost. Like when they took it from Squad Arena and put it into GAC, it worked because, you know, they increased the amount of crystals by a little bit for each level and for every person, and it just mathematically made sense, right? They're going to do that, and I'm okay with this, but I said you can't be screwing around with people's crystals. So if you're going to make it, one, you'd have to change the TW system. It'd have to be more consistent. But if, you know, the crystal amount has to be just a little bit more than what people would get per average in, like, say, a Squad Arena. Like I get one every day. So, you know, I mean, I've said this in my stream. I'll take a hit if it's for the betterment of the game, where everybody gets a lot more crystals and I get a little bit less. Sure, I don't mind. And I think a lot of people that take 1 or 2 or top 5 and Fleet Arena are like that. But it has to be that level. If it gets reduced in any sort of way, and they don't do it like they did in JC, there's going to be fire and brimstone, pitchforks. You know, someone is going down, and I don't want to be there for it. I'll just be sitting in the background going, "Yeah, I get that guy, bastard. Get him. He's over there." Good. So yeah, that's cool. That's the only way they could do it.
I'll go last. Swamp, you go ahead.
Yeah, I can see that, what Ranger was saying, but I always thought, like, when they first took away the crystals in Squad Arena, it just kind of felt to me like, you know, there's kind of a time limit on Fleet Arena where it's like, okay, you guys can have crystals in there for now. Eventually, we're going to take that. So I feel like, you know, whether yes or no it is going to happen, I think yes, eventually. And I don't know, I kind of always thought they would just kind of do like another revamp of GAC like they had before, where they put even more of the crystals into GAC. But yeah, I agree. If they did want to go the TW route, there's definitely major changes that would need to be made. Like the top war guilds in the game have, you know, expressed their discontent with the situation as it is now. So make it more important, then yeah, it definitely would need to change for sure.
I agree with both of you. I think Territory Wars, it would have to have a, what is it right now? Top 350 mil versus what, 650 mil above? Is in bracket.
Yeah.
They would have to, yeah, there's a 2-minute wide range. It would have to be like a GAC kind of a system where you get a rank. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing like a special rank for Territory Wars.
Right, my friends, and this information.
So Like it would have to be like something like that. Like crystals wouldn't be bad there. Don't get me wrong. But they would have to redo the whole system because if you're say you're getting 400 a day from Fleet Arena, you would have to get something. All right, 400 times 7. What was that? 2,800 a week.
Yeah, weekly. Yeah.
They would have to have a system in place where you can get 2,800 because we only have territory wars. What, 4 times a month?
4 times a month.
And that means you ain't getting those crystals, those daily crystals. Now, some of us, it ain't a big deal. Some of us live by those. Like I know in my head, I'm getting this amount of crystals a day.
Well, they could do like in GAC when non-GAC days in your daily, you know, you 60 and stuff like that. They can transition to that, right?
Yep.
Those on top of that, what would be the way that you would get those additional crystals like you get in GAC and other places to make up for the daily overall average, right? So it can be done, but you know, oh my God, ugh, it terrifies me. It terrifies me to no end of, you know, the swamp state. Eventually they are going to make that transition and you'll get your time back and I have to at certain times screw around with fleet and stuff. And then, you know, it'll be alleviated somewhere else, but I hope they don't screw that up, man. You're right. Oh my God. No, that's terrifying.
Now I looked up his name. That's how his name is spelled on Discord. Rabid Beaver.
It's Rabid Beaver.
Yeah, just jump in voice Rabid Beaver. So that's how it's spelled. I have it spelled right. I thought I did. Let me check.
No, it looks the same as it's in the.
Yeah.
There's Rabid Beaver.
Yeah. ROBID. Yeah, that's right.
R-A.
Yeah, that's right.
Bid.
Capital B, I think. I don't know.
Apostrophe. Signal.
Oh, he's all in the description. Oh yeah, I'll fix that. I did have a misspelled earlier.
Ah, in the description. Ah. Oh.
There you go. What's up, Rabid Beaver?
Looks like he's got another device because his camera's not popping in.
Let's see if it pops in a second.
Another device is using your video at the moment.
What is up with my camera?
You have something else pulling from your camera that's using it. That's why.
Yeah, if you had like your OBS or anything like that open, it might be, you know, using your cam.
Let's give him a minute. And, all right, I fixed the description. Should be all good. He's using the virtual.
Yes. The old virtual streaming.
Just doesn't like me. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't like you either. You watch yourself.
Dude, I said that to someone in high school one time and got absolutely ripped into because they didn't realize it was a quote.
Well, you can't help stupidity.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you can't make everybody happy, you know?
I know. Why do you? Oh, you poor little guy. Oh, Rabid Beaver's a hot sauce enthusiast as well. Yes.
I think it's more adequate to say that I find hot sauce painful and people find enjoyment in me finding hot sauce painful.
Okay. I'm not allowed to do hot. I've done every single like hot sauce challenge that's known to man. You know, the chocolate, the nut, the ghost pepper.
Oh God, I would die.
I handle hot food very well. You know, really all that happens for me on those things. It's not like, you know, the hot ones challenge we've done. Those actually have flavor and taste. When you do the chocolate or the nut or just bite into the ghost pepper or any of that crap, it's just pain. right? Now, if you're not used to that kind of pain, because it will affect you, like you'll get high. If you're not used to that, and I'm from Texas where we eat that shit all the time, it will mess you up, right? There's a reason why there's a warning on those things. Like if you get the chip, it does say, you should probably make sure you're okay to eat this before you do, because it will terrorize you. So yeah, be very careful, kids. Don't. Just because you see me do it on Streams for Charity doesn't mean you need to be doing it too, right? Now, but yeah, hot food, I think the hotter as long as it has taste, I really like the hot sauces. I use them all the time, and really, really exceptionally hot food. But oh yeah, there's a warning purpose for it. They have to. They can get in huge. They can get sued for what that stuff does to you. Like if you've ever eaten the nut or the chip or the chocolate or anything like that, it has it. Like it says, use gloves, don't touch your eyes, if anything weird, seek medical attention immediately. I mean, when you see stuff like that on the label, but it's just pain. It's like, as soon as you put it in your mouth and if you've never experienced before, it hits like immediately, like you just feel it immediately. And then it'll go through cycles of which part of this whole region right here is getting the fire on it and the pain. So, but I just sit there and munch on ice and water, let the 30-minute cycle run, and then I'm fine.
You just have to go straight to the hospital. I can't handle hot stuff. Like I like certain things.
I love it. I got some behind me here. I got like 4 sauces that I use consistently. They're like about 800,000 to Schofield. I love them. They're so good.
Nice.
Hell, ate my soul.
I like hot sauce and stuff like that, but I'm not really like a super champ at it or anything. But I like to challenge myself. I've tried the 1-chip challenge and numerous different like suicide wings and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, there's actually a cool challenge at my there's like this sub shop by my work that has really awesome subs, and they have this one where they have this whatever killer suicide sauce, and if you can go there, eat a sub, can't remember how much time they give you, 8 minutes or something to eat this sub. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. But they also put like 8 scoops of this sauce on there. So yeah.
Damn.
If you guys remember Yeti, Swigga Yeti, well, now he's changed his channel to the Big Yeti Network. But yeah, he's my friend IRL, and me and him are gonna do that challenge one of these days. But we keep kind of putting it off because it's only open during like work hours, so it's not like open on the weekends or the evenings. So he kind of has to come meet me at work, and then we'll do it, kind of thing. But one day, and then we can be on the wall of flame or the wall of shame, whichever.
It's funny how I eat that stuff and I don't have any problems the next day with like a bathroom like that. It just goes right through. And I'm very blessed on that side, because you can I've heard horror stories like it was painful going in and it was really painful coming out. I'm like, oh my god, I can only imagine. It's bad, I'm gay. It's bad.
Yeah, for me
there's a beaver.
What's up, Beaver?
Hey.
Yeah, for me the bathroom thing seems to be worse with stuff that's like not challengingly hot, but say like a pizza that's covered in jalapenos or something.
Yeah.
Next day, you're kind of it's a bit rough.
For me, it's more greasy that's when it gets me than like say hot food. It's weird. Hot food doesn't do much to me, but grease, like super greasy food, I haven't eaten in a long time, even though I live in the South. But like fried chicken, that kind of shit, it's like, oh yeah, you feel it the next day. So like it's, oh my god, it's so bad. It's like I'd rather eat the hot food. Yeah, I'll just stick with that. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, at the end of my streams that I do hot sauce on, I eat something called the bomb, Beyond Insanity.
Oh yeah, the bomb's awful, man. That's just pain.
Yeah.
That's just like the ghost. Yeah. That's just like the chocolate.
Yeah, I know the bomb as well.
I've had it many times. I'm just like,
it wrecks me that day and the next day. It's just it's terrible.
It just makes me angry. It doesn't wreck me or anything. It just makes me angry because I'm sitting there going, God, every time I eat this shit, it's just nasty pain, man. It's like I didn't even get enjoyment. I mean, I knew with the pepper and the chocolate and the nut and the chip, that's like, I knew that what that was, right? But when you eat a hot sauce, like, you're like, can I get any kind of flavor? The bomb
dude.
is not flavor, man. It is just
No.
instant death in your mouth. It's burn
Like,
city, baby.
if you can find like a good mango habanero, every time,
Oh,
absolutely
it's
yes.
great.
But
Oh,
like,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
when it comes to the bomb, it's just this isn't flavor.
What do you do with the beaver? You just like put a bit on a spoon or
Little
something?
dab, a little dab action.
Whatever I happen to have in the apartment, my roommate bought these terrible protein chips that are like absolutely tasteless. And so like
Those
if
are
I
all
forget to pick up chips or something to put my hot sauce on, I just grab those. They've been the same ones I've been using on and off for 6 months at this point.
Yeah, they'll still be around.
Those
Yeah.
chips are awful, man. God, someone said that, because of my weight loss and everything I've been doing, they're like, you eat a lot of protein, right? You should get some of those protein chips. I'm like, I've never had them, sure. Crunch.
Dust comes out.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll
it
stick
doesn't
to
taste like a
chicken.
Dorito. I was lied to.
You know what is good though? Protein pancakes. If you ever see that stuff, it's just a pancake mix that
I've heard
has
of
like
those.
the whey
Yeah.
protein in it. It's
Mhm.
very delicious.
Dude, there's a place that shut down nearby me that used to do protein hot chocolate, where they'd make hot chocolate with the Monster protein shakes,
Oh my
and so it had caffeine in it as well. It was freaking delicious. Some of the best hot chocolate I've ever had in my life.
That sounds awesome.
Dang. All right, so welcome, Beaver. This is the first time we've ever been on here together.
This is true.
I've been with Ranger before. I've been with Swamp before. Well, I was Swamp. So I've got some questions for Beaver since he was, he came in late. So,
Oh no.
all right.
That's right. We missed the questions.
Yeah. So Beaver, so I've seen your streams. Everybody has. So tell me about yourself. A little bit about yourself.
I don't know. I am a beaver. I grew up loving Star Wars. Like I was humming Darth Vader's theme before I could talk, kind of loving Star Wars since I was a kid. You know, ended up getting into Galaxy of Heroes when I started my current job. One of my coworkers was playing it and was like, hey, you should play it. We all play it, and we go between different stores, and all the people at the different stores play it. And so had a huge group of people like IRL that I played with initially. And then
That's
made
really
a guide for, it was honestly awesome. And a big part of why I've tried to encourage community on my channel and like have a Discord and things like that is because having people to hang out with and talk about the game, it's really something that I absolutely love. And I posted a guide on how to do the Ray event because I was like, gosh, I don't have any Zetas and I don't have the droids, and everyone says to use Zetas and droids with this first tier. And then I figured out the Zori cheese, and I was like, oh, I need to get people to know about this. And then boom, and I just started making videos and kept going from there. So here we are today.
Okay.
That's how I heard of you. People were in my stream. They're like, you should see what Rabid Beaver did with Zori. And I was like, what? And checked it out. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Same. And I was like, you had me at Beaver. Yeah.
Dude, I was so surprised. It took I think it was 6 months into making content before someone actually made a beaver joke. And of all people, it was Scribe.
Oh, I've been saying it much sooner than that. I was just like, oh, there's a new content creator, because I'd read all, like, we must raid the beaver. He's rabid and needs attention. The beaver needs attention, guys. We're gonna go raid the beaver. Tell him what a glorious furry beaver he is too when we go over there.
Gosh.
All right, next question, Beaver. What kind of hobbies do you have?
Ooh. You mean besides content creation?
Yeah, besides Star Wars and content.
I mean, I love video games in general. And so I've been getting into some Expedition 33 lately. But honestly, it's a lot of it's just hanging out with friends and just doing random crap. You know, I enjoy music, so I help out with some of the music creation on my channel, and you know that type of stuff I absolutely love. I love to swim. I was on the swim team in high school. Nothing is funnier than watching a manatee beat you know, someone much skinnier. So, but yeah.
Very
Besides
nice.
that, I just hang out with my poopers.
Nerd stuff.
Ouch.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's a compliment.
We're all nerds here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're in good hands. Yeah, nerds are cool.
All right, this is for everybody. I got like a list for everything. All right, so we'll start with Ranger. Why do you like Star Wars?
It's just it's gonna get a little deep. I just like I grew up with it, and it was just one of those things. But I grew up with a lot of stuff, but the fantastical side of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have all the stuff we have today, obviously. Um, all I had was books, and then the movies that were associated with them. Star Wars was that first movie that really got me into fantasy, right? And then I started getting into like Tolkien, and then I got into Salvatore, and then I started getting into manga and anime, right? And so I like that kind of stuff, but I always appreciated a good story, but it was kind of an escapism for me. Even when I was in the military, as an Army Ranger, when we had a break, I'd have a book or something that I could take a moment to, read or keep my mind away from what I was dealing with. And I just think it's an incredible, it's, the characters, the stories, the psychological undertones that go with this kind of stuff relates to us, right? We see ourselves as these people, whether it's Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader in Star Wars, or it's Dritz Jordan from, D&D, or you can, for Warhammer 40K, it doesn't matter. There's something there with their story and their arc, and as we're watching, whether it's TV shows, reading, whatever, that we just relate to on a human level, that that make it so enticing, to be the hero, to be the swashbuckling scoundrel, anything you can name that as a person you can relate to it. Like, hey, that's me. I understand that's they understand me, right? And no matter whether it's whether they use a lightsaber or they're in 9,000, the characterization and what they go through, and it's just fun. It's just fucking fun. It's cool, and it's fun, and it's awesome because you get nerds. We are very accepting. We don't care who you are. You want to talk nerd shit? We'll talk nerd shit. I don't care about anything else. We just want to thing and just enjoy each other. And I've always said the SWGOH community is one of the best communities out there, because they're just really kind and compassionate. There's some assholes out there, of course, but for the most part, they're nerds, and they love Star Wars. They love talking about this stuff and debating, and and who's the most powerful, or did you see this scene in Andor? I mean, talking about this stuff, and because it's so incredible, and I think that's the thing that draws us into this stuff.
Okay. Long and lengthy.
I told you. I told you. I gave the warning.
All right, Swamp.
Yeah, that was a beautiful breakdown. I love it. Yeah, for me growing up, my parents had this one couple that they were friends with, that anytime they were watching me and my brother, they'd always try to get us into science fiction stuff, and I was more into it than my brother. And really, Star Wars was the first one that like really got me. And part of it is that scene where Luke is fighting the Rancor. I felt like I was fighting the Rancor, kind of like what Ranger was saying, how you kind of put yourself in the shoes of the character. Like I really felt myself emotionally attached during that scene, and that was kind of it for me. Like from there, it was just I loved Star Wars. I would watch it like over and over and over, and yeah, I was big into it, big into it. And also another thing is my brother, once he started getting a little bit older, my brother's younger than me. I started bringing him to the Star Wars movies, starting with Episode 1, Phantom Menace. There, so he was like, I don't know, maybe 10 when that came out, and I was a couple years older. And yeah, so I brought him to that, and then we started going every Star Wars movie since then. We've gone like opening day and stuff, and it's kind of became a tradition between us. So it's pretty cool.
Very nice. Beaver?
It's interesting with Star Wars because there's two parts to it. I guess three parts. The first one is I have ADHD, and there's not a ton of things that like I grip onto and I continue to consume. And when I find those things that I just no matter what, I always have a love with them. It's not just like I spend a weekend playing Minecraft and I don't play it again for a year. Like Star Wars is one of those things. And so when I find one of those things, it's just I'm all in on it. And so there's that ADHD side of like, if I find something that I really, really value, I hold to it as hard as I can because not a lot of things keep that value to me. And I think a lot of that comes down to kind of the indoctrination of being a child. Because like Star Wars was everything. The only T-rated video games my dad would let me play were Star Wars games. I don't remember a time I didn't know that Darth Vader and Luke were, father and son. My earliest memory is walking into my dad's house and seeing the Duel of the Fates on the screen with the wide shot where they're fighting down below on the walkway. Like that is my earliest memory. And so, like, I definitely think that there's an indoctrination portion that definitely keeps me coming back, regardless of how bad Book of Boba Fett is. But the third aspect is definitely just the world and how many different stories. There's something for everyone in Star Wars, and I love that. You can take Andor and you can give it to someone who's never watched Star Wars, and they'll love it. You got people who just really want a good story, and you have the Republic Commando books, you have the Thrawn trilogy, you have so many different things, so many different genres. Star Wars literally would like go through and define different genres of video games way back when as well. You're like, oh yeah, I want a game like Doom, and you're like, well, there's a Star Wars game like Doom. Yeah, I want an RTS. Well, there's like 2 of 3 of them. Star Wars just like kind of shaped everything for a long time, and so like a world to explore is something that's big for me just in general, and a story to be told to. And so like I love RPG games and I love in-depth lore. And so like each piece of Star Wars literature was just like, as I consumed it, was like, not only do I get to learn fun facts that I can spout because I love fun facts, but I also am like seeing these different point of views in the Star Wars universe. I'm loving the Mandalorians and how they see the universe versus how the Jedi see the universe and how Thrawn sees the universe. And so these different perspectives and everything were just fascinating to me. And ultimately, Star Wars is how I see the world at this point because of how like connected it's become with my life. So like, I could sit here and you could give me like anything and I'd probably be able to make an analogy in Star Wars terms and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense because it's like how this.
Okay. So for me, it's kind of two-parter. For me, Star Wars, I didn't watch Star Wars until I was little. Me and my brother went to the movie theater, was at my grandma's house. And my brother plays Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes too. We both went to Star Wars to see the first movie. Came out when we was younger. We went to see that. And then, it's Star Wars. You get a fucking lightsaber. I mean, who doesn't love getting a lightsaber? So that, and then we really got hooked is when I was at work one day. This guy, he was eventually be my guild leader in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. He's like, hey, he's been playing this game every time we go on break. I'm like, what the hell are you playing? And he was showing me, man, that's when he sunk me in, hooked me, and then I hooked my brother. It's just like, just listen to you guys, like, there's like different stories, like Mandalorian. My wife was not a big Star Wars person until Mandalorian came out. She knew about Star Wars. She knew I streamed Star Wars stuff. But my whole house is in Baby Yoda. Because she loves it. She loves that story. When the movie comes out, she will be the first one in line. Don't worry. But yeah, like there's different stories for different people, and then like I said, she wasn't really. She knew about Star Wars, but she wasn't big into it. She knew about Darth Vader and Luke and all that. But now she's asking all these questions. She even watches Andor. She likes Andor too, really a lot. And she like I'm not allowed to watch it without her, or she gets pissed. And she's like, "You watch that? You just made me watch that together." And she gets so mad. Like, what was it? The Ahsoka show? She wasn't really into it, so I went along without her. And she was like, she got so mad. Why'd you watch it? Because I was waiting weeks, and everybody on chat was over talking about what happened at the end. I can't be waiting weeks for you to watch the show. And then she eventually watched it. But yeah, like I feel like we're pulling more women into Star Wars now. Like just
if you've gone to any con and seen the amount of women there, not just for Star Wars, but just like anime and all this other. I mean, there's actually more women than men at these cons.
I've never been to one.
I do
Dang,
it all
that's
the time.
crazy. Where are you going to these cons?
Man, I went to the one at MegaCon, man. Trust me, I had tons of photos with all these girls, and especially the anime side, man. They are all over the place. From different, especially the costuming stuff. I mean, they are everywhere. I mean, I'm over exaggerating. Man, I was blown away with the first one I went to. Like, a lot of women here, and they're all dressed up, and they're all into this stuff. You know, from Star Wars to you name the anything. They were representing, and they were representing hard. And so it was cool to see that, right? But yeah, man, women are coming out, man, for nerd stuff, man. They're digging it.
When you say that, I just think a bunch of Talons. When you said they all dressing up, a bunch of dark Talons coming out.
But there was one girl, she was from, I can't remember the anime, but she had done the full costume with the sword and everything. And I just looked at her, that's incredible. But she didn't want to talk about that. She wanted to talk to me in the Mando costume. But yeah, I mean, they get in depth with this stuff. I mean, yeah. And a lot of the costuming is being led by a lot of the women in the industry because they're really good at, creating that stuff and coming up with ideas from foam to other things that you can use. Because I actually went to one of the panels with a group of ladies that were talking about the different ideas that they have for creating this costume. Because not everybody has a lot of money. The other ways that you can create the look from the show that you're looking to do cheap, and I found it really interesting. But yeah, it's women leading the way.
Yeah, at the first convention I went to, because I went to my first convention last year, because I grew up in Alaska, so there's nothing up there. I went to this convention, and there was this one couple I saw every single day, and the girl, her costume was an immaculate Ray, like Scavenger Ray, immaculate down to the last detail. And then he was like really poorly made, had like a lightsaber he bought from Walmart of Kylo Ren's lightsaber, and he was the Swallow Ren with like the pants up to here, walking around. It was great.
Oh boy.
Wow. That's too funny.
But I got my picture with a couple of cosplayers. One girl, she was dressed as the armor. The other was Bo, and I have my picture in our Discord. I got pictures with them
Nice.
that were doing that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been to we have a pretty big Comic-Con where I live too, and I've been to it a couple times, but I'm one of those people you're talking about that don't have a lot of money, so there's only so much you can do there, really. And then, but what I found quite entertaining is there's a lot of bars with patios near that area. So me and my buddy Yeti were sitting there having beers one day watching the NFL draft. It was the same time as the con, and just all these parade of ladies going by the patio there, and that was probably more entertaining than the con itself. So. Yeah. Yeah.
So we do have a question from chat. I just had it
Is it the
right here.
late one?
Yep. So, what led to your decisions to become a content creators in the first place? Anybody?
I mean, yeah, I can start.
Okay.
As a high schooler, I started watching Markiplier, and I thought it was so much fun and like so cool to watch this guy do this. And me and my buddy hatched a plan to become content creators when we were in college and get a PlayStation, an Xbox, and a PC and try all the games and make our own content creation. And we didn't really plan anything past that at all. And then I got to college a couple years later, and just on a whim, I didn't want to pay for Google Drive. I didn't want to pay for Dropbox or anything like that. And I needed to send I like made a clip of like all the shots I made in a video game because I wanted to show my buddy, like, dude, look, I'm actually pretty good at sniping in this game and I've never played it before. And it was just too large to send anyway that I had access to. So I was like, F it. And I made a YouTube channel and posted it. It's still on my channel as my first video. You can actually go find it still. And I posted it, and then my buddy got super hyped and he was like, dude, you're doing it. We got to make channels. And so he made his own channel and we started posting content, and I was just doing hobby stuff, got a couple videos to pop off, but nothing that I could like repeat and know what I would do next out of it. And then eventually I posted that video and it started to explode, and I just kind of rolled with it, did a ton of research, and just kept going from there. So it started out as just kind of like a boyhood dream, and then it became a reality, even though I wasn't really expecting it to. And I've been going with it and loving every moment ever since.
Very nice. Next.
I'll go. Yeah, so for me, COVID-19 was a big driving factor. I was kind of, at home for about a month or so because my job, like, they weren't allowing people to work and stuff like that. And eventually they did let us go back. But yeah, during that time, I was watching like way more content than I ever had before, and just kind of realizing that, like, yeah, what these guys do looks really, really fun, and I would love to give it a shot. And because it was like, I don't know, a really popular move to get into content creation during that time, some of my favorite streamers at the time started doing series about how to become a content creator. And a lot of them, the best advice that they gave is just do it. Doesn't matter what you have as far as equipment, doesn't matter what you know how to do, any of that. Just do what you can, and that's the first step. And then from there, yeah, that's what I did. I went and I got a cheapo computer. It was like, what I could afford, and just started streaming. So from there, everything else just kind of started progressing bit by bit. Now I have a bit better computer, still not great, but bit by bit, channel just gets better and better.
I think your computer is way better now than it was.
Thanks.
Ranger, I've known on Swamp for a while.
Well, I started streaming back in the dark times before the Empire.
Before the Arnold Empire? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh yeah, no, I'm way ahead of before Arnold was ever a thing. Like, give you an example, both Urs and Scribe first videos were introduced on my channel. So that's how I mean, I go back to 2016. And back then Twitch wasn't a thing. I don't even think it existed. It was just YouTube. And I joined the game in November when it first I was doing stuff with Team Instinct, and one of the guys there was streaming. He had just started streaming. His name was Merlin Darkmage. And I would jump on, and he loved having me on and do all the voices. Like, I would do Cosby and do all this stuff, and it would just crack everybody up. And I was fine with that at that time. I was working, and I was like, oh, this. But then Merlin got a like really incredible offer at the Texas Rangers baseball team, because he was from Texas and I was from Texas, so we had a lot of. So he had started doing all this streaming, and we'd had a few shows, and it was really fun and all this stuff, and that's where I met Grande Patron and all the. But then he stopped, the only thing at the time was some videos coming out from Tiny Grimes Games. I don't even know who else. That was pretty much it. And then Skunk was Team Skunk, Lord Skunk, may he rot in hell. He was the only one doing live streams, and I couldn't stand. I thought he was evil. So I got with a couple guys, because Mer's like, you should just stream. Like, but I have no idea what that means. You know, I have no clue. And in 2016, there were no tutorials. There was nothing like that. So the guy that my heterosexual life mate, I call him Finn, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, we had to do it from scratch. Like, we had the PCs and stuff, but we didn't know anything about software, what platforms, you know, how you do this, the setup, everything. And so we formed Reality Gamers. Now, back then it was called Real Sith of Genius. That was what our original name of it was. Then came after us for Sith of the title. We're like, oh, come on, guys, man. So we had to change it. But yeah, in June of 2016, about a month, Finn like testing and going back and forth and figuring out how things works. Why isn't this working? Where's my camera? You know, it wasn't working. We finally had our first stream, and it was awful, but it was so much fun. Because everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong in that stream. And then understanding about all this stuff to be a content creator back then was like, you just had to get online and read and then trial and error. And so, yeah, that's what got me into content creation. I've always been the point man for RSG. Finn doesn't do as much SWGOH stuff. He does other games, and we play like Front, Skate 3. I've been doing D&D on that channel for a long time. So just nerd shit, but mainly SWGOH. I mean, yeah, SWGOH stuff was the main reason, but I just went to what was out there, which was not much at the time, and that it would be something different. And back then it was about 4 of us on the channel, but you know, Bronny eventually joined us. And you know, just being nerds, talking crap, making fun of one another, and just talking Star Wars with the community. And that's really what it all boils down.
With that little thing you said where you said your first stream was crap, any of you out there that actually want to make content, your first video and your first stream are going to be crap. No matter how much you prepare, it's going to be crap. But it might be crap that someone likes. Start doing it now. You need to start making something right now, so that way you can start iterating and improving. You go about watch my first video versus my videos nowadays, my old streams versus my current streams, completely like new setups, you know, completely new content. Keep iterating, keep making stuff, but you got to make something crap to start. What is that quote by Jake the dog from Adventure Time? Sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good at something. Start sucking now.
Okay. So for me, it was so it was around COVID. You know, everything was locked down. Couldn't do much. My biggest people were, I was watching Mobile Gamer, Ranger actually, as well, and Arnold was my 3. I watched Ranger because, you know, the gas event, didn't know how to beat the gas event. Him and Finn would get on there and boom, boom, boom. I would cuss in that event before it, you know, because I didn't want to put all the relics and stuff on. And then I saw Finn streaming it one day with Ranger, and then that's how I beat the gas event, was Ranger and Finn. I saw Arnold, Mobile Gamer, and I was just like, I've been playing this game for a while on my phone. I was like, can you play it on the PC? And I didn't know. And then I did. It was LD player. I think LD player BlueStacks. Started that. I was like, I only had like 2 people watching, but I was thrilled to death. And they just kept coming back. And coming back. And then yeah, that's how I had a dingy laptop. I still have the laptop. It's a really good laptop. But for streaming wise, laptop's not the greatest. I learned that. But yeah, I was just had a laptop, turned it on, started streaming the game from BlueStacks and LD player, slow as Moses. And then yeah, I was just like been playing it ever since. Like I watched Mobile Gamer, and when he retired, it hurt the game a little bit. And then, but yeah, that's how I started. COVID, and it was like, why can't I do this? And then I was like, I'm at home, why not? And
The Junior Rangers can do it. Anybody.
and I was like, I'm watching Arnold and them, it's Arnold, come on. And then I was like, fuck, I can do this too. And so I did. And then I've been going ever since. But
I love that little piece of just arrogance that we're just like, yeah, I could do that too. It always starts that way. I remember a year before I started making content, I got a roster review from someone who will remain nameless. And I literally got the roster review and I was like, dang, I could have done a better roster review than that. That was garbage. So like ever since I was like, maybe I should do Galaxy of Heroes content, and then ended up actually doing it.
Ranger's one of the first people that gave me a roster review. Ray Rock came to me. He goes, Ranger does roster reviews. I was like, Ray Rock tricked me. Okay, let's rephrase this. He didn't tell me he was going to do it live. He was just like, or anything like that. He tricked my ass. I was like, okay, just let me know when he does it, and then I'll message him and see what he says. There was no really big guides out there when I first started or anything like that. It was like, my account was complete trash. So, and Ranger gets on there, well, I'm going to do it live. I'm like, excuse me? You're on what? And then he did it live, and I didn't watch him live, but I went back to watch the video, because I was real nervous. I was real like, don't look at the mods. Don't be looking at this kind of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And then he did it. It was a really good roster review. I was like, I thought he was going to trash me or something, and he didn't. And I was like, Ray Rock tricked my fucking ass.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's one of my boys.
but yeah, that's how content creations first started. Because I was like, these people can do it. I mean, I'll do it. I mean, we're sitting at home with COVID, so can't go out and work or anything. So that's how it happened for me. All right.
Yeah, I want to go back to something that I kind of glazed over in my story there. I was saying that I got a new computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, best community in the world, this Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community. They put money together to buy me that computer when I got robbed a few years ago. Some guys broke in, like while we were there, like a home invasion. It was violent and crazy, and they stole my rig, stole everything, and I thought I was done for. I was like, I'm done. I'll never be able to stream again. And then the community came together, bought me a brand new computer, and couldn't be any more thankful. Like, just amazing people. So
They really are.
Oh, yeah.
This community is incredible. I mean, the stuff we've been able to do for charity alone has been extraordinary, but anytime anybody needs anything, they just step up. They don't ask any questions. They're just very kind and giving. They just want to help, and it's just, they want to make a difference, and they do it in ways that still to this day blows me away, so yeah, communities is incredible.
Hell, my soul says, guys, I got to head off, get some sleep before work, but thanks for the stream tonight. Nice to see something like this and get to chat and see you all and learn about you guys more. Thank you.
Have a good night, my friend.
Yeah, I remember when, I think I messaged, who did that with Nev? That podcast.
That's what's his name? Who was his cohort? I mean, I did the GAC stuff with him on his channel, but I can't remember.
Like, I remember his in-game name was Storm and Mormon. What's his name? Paul.
Paul. Paul.
Yeah,
So I messaged Paul and I was like, this is Swamp Story. I remember donating to that. And I was like, Swamp's good people. Because maybe Paul was doing a podcast when I was doing a podcast as well. And then I was like, hey, and then he put out we made a GoFundMe for that, and then and that's where that happened. But yeah, Paul just said a couple words and boom, people start donating like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was one guy in my guild who like we're both roofers, so we always would be talking about roofer shit. And yeah, he actually came through really solid. Like towards the end of the first day, he's like, "How much do you need?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I haven't even looked yet." And kind of looked and priced out a laptop. He's like, "Whatever the rest is, I got it." So you know, some people out there are just amazing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the current rig that I'm playing on right now is it's I did a 6-day stream to fund it, and like every time someone donated, I'd add time to the timer, and so I streamed from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed for like 6 days straight. And so my community is the thing that paid for this computer, and I'm so grateful. It's allowed me to step up my game and do a lot more with streaming. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen those streams. I was like, there's no way I can stay up that long. I was like, I'll be passing out. They be still watching.
I've done that stuff before. It's brutal, man. Because like when we do our charity stuff, we'll do a 24, 36 hour straight stream, and oh my god. Ugh.
The first one I did, instead of doing like from when I woke up to when I went to bed and then restarting the next day, I just did straight through, and it was 37.5 hours, and I got to the end and I was so out of it. I woke up the next morning at like 2 a.m, speaking out loud like I was on a stream, describing how much I loved the Star Wars trading card game that had just come out and explaining why it was good compared to Magic the Gathering. And I literally did that for like 5 to 10 minutes before I realized I'm laying in bed speaking out loud to myself, and then caught myself and went back to sleep.
All right, so next question is, let's go to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. State of the game right now. We've all been playing for a while, so where do you think it is right now? The state of the game, good, bad, and why?
Free to play has never felt better and worse at the same time.
We'll explain.
Well, because of how much value you get from light speed bundles and how much it shoots your account forward and the things that they're doing like that, it feels really bad to miss out on those things. But compared to when I started the game back in, what was that 2021, where everything, you had gear that was only single drops, the raid changes hadn't happened, the great nerf was about to happen. It was a terrible time to get into the game. The only reason I made it as far as I did was because I had friends like in real life that I could talk to about the game and get excited about the game with. If I didn't have that, I think I would have quit pretty early. And so like nowadays, you can get to level 85 quickly. You're able to get characters fairly quickly with the raid changes. Like before they even did the level 85 change, I did a free to play account and I had my first relic character the day I got to 85, which was really, really cool. And so I had like a relic Savage the first day I got to level 85. And it's looking like they're going to make more changes based on what they've been like pushing with this most recent update for free to play. And that's great. But just the FOMO, they're pushing so hard of you only need to spend just a little bit of money. And just a little bit, here's $10 and you get a whole bunch of relic characters. It feels so bad to be free to play. It feels so bad to get into Grand Arena for your first couple of months, but it's also never felt better to be free to play.
Next.
I'll go next. I mean, it's in a good spot. There's stuff that, I'm very famous or infamously known for my rages. I've always been fair with Capital Games. When they do good stuff, and they've made a lot of good positive changes that I really like that they've done. And then they do some shit that makes me drop 20 F-bombs on them in less than 30 seconds, on stream. It's like, what are you doing? Whose heads up whose ass on this decision, I do like some of the changes overall that they've done with the game. But there's still stuff like the way they've just rolled out this new raid. It's just like, the raid's great. I enjoyed the new raid. But like the characters and how they were available and what's still not available, even with the characters, I'm just like, it's the small things that they do that drive me nuts. Like they put out a post that says, this is the dates and these are the times and for the airs and the episode stuff. And these are the new assault battles. 4.5. So it's like, great. And then they don't do it. And then you're just like, well, no, wait a minute. You said in here that this is. Then you didn't say anything about why it wasn't happening. The bam, we got the pirate assault battle. It's like, no, wait, we can't do that kind of thing. That's drives me crazy. You know,
this year has been terrible for that. We've had messes up in the era pass as early as the beginning of January.
Yeah.
We've had, the raid coming at a wonky and weird time. We've had pirates showing up in the raid, which is probably pushed by Disney to push out the Acolyte content that was supposed to come. And like we have all this stuff that was just like, give us some communication. Tell us, something, because this feels awful.
It's been really strange. I mean, I love the changes to the marquee system. I love the changes to, like the assault battles for me for the era episode, like, and the positive players that are free to play are getting free shards. And that helps them tremendously. If you do the tier 1 and tier 2 fights, you get all those shards. I think that's great. Then you get to the fights at the upper levels. If you're doing, who designed this? What is wrong with you? Have you not played a game before? You piece of crap. Like the clone one was horrible. Oh my god, that thing was a nightmare. I had flashbacks of doing the gas of mine. Like, I have to do this fight goddamn time to get crap. And what made it worse is gas, I was only gear 12. This, I was like fully relic, had done like all the relic 9s on the relic 9, max of the teeth characters, and I'm getting my ass handed to me. So it's stuff like they do like that. And I agree with you, like the bundles and the packs are phenomenal, but they're not seeing the other side of that too, where they're not putting out something. I'm not talking about packs. I'm talking about just realizing that if you're going to do that, you need to help players at that level with, I don't know, Zetas, mods, because they get this new bundle, they go get SLKR, and like, it's only 120 Zetas that they don't have. They have an SLKR, but they don't have the Zetas for it, or the mods to make it work.
Yeah. The mods just to get Hux up to 200, and I don't remember what it is, like 265 speed is the minimum, I think, for that event. And so like getting those base level mods coming into the game, you've never played the game before. Where are you gonna get those mods and figure out how that works?
So
yeah, you might not even have access to them because they're still gated by a certain level, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's just, yeah, I think it's moving in a positive direction. There's a massive overall needs that we talk about PvP system that they need to look at hard with, some stuff in GAC and especially TW. But I mean, overall, I like the direction. It's positive. I like that they still need to work on their goddamn communication. Ships is a disaster. So yeah, there's good, the bad, the ugly, but for the most part, I feel pretty positive. I think it's in a good spot.
Nice. Swamp.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the changes that have come recently are mostly positive, and like you were saying earlier, new players coming into the game is the biggest thing that matters, right? As far as the longevity of the game, and I feel like that's kind of doing well right now. It seems like a lot of people are joining the game and seem to be enjoying themselves, so that's good. Feels pretty positive in that way. We always hear the doom and gloom in the community as a whole, like every single time there's any type of change. Oh, this is the end, it's over. People are very dramatic, but yeah, overall I feel pretty positive about the state of the game. I think it's kind of in a good place, and people are spending, people are joining, so overall I think the health of the game is pretty good right now. One thing I think is with the allowing people to relic characters at low stars kind of feels weird to me, because like what then what? Like, do what with it? I don't truly understand it.
Red stars are coming.
Well, I think on that change is to give you access to make your characters more viable, like especially like for 5-star and 6-star, where you can get to relic 3 at least, so you can do more with Batacrons. You can also do more in some of the events, like the one guy, I think it's Quiggled, or no, Athano. He only has to be relic 3, which means you don't have to have him 7 stars for the Galactic Legend. right? It's
Okay.
little that kind of stuff that will make a difference for newer players and stuff.
I hope to never see another 7-star Krennic.
But I think a major pitfall for newer players is, you know, trying to get characters to relics by like foregoing shards to get um, more chirotech and carbontes and all that kind of stuff from the stores when, you know, they need, you know, 60,000 get one to get the, you know, Hermit Yoda and Wampa and you know, the Malevolence and Negotiator. All that stuff just takes these massive amounts of currency. So anything that they're diverting from those shards, you know, it just takes longer and longer to get those characters and stuff. I mean, they have relieved it by putting some of those shards in other shops, the it's called the raid shop and stuff like that. But like newer players, they're not getting get 3, or I mean Mark 3 raid currency, I would imagine, right? So it's like there's a shortcut, but they also don't have access to that either. So I don't know, it's kind of, to me there's some confusion as far as like how that actually would affect the early game, because yeah, like I said, if somebody's like, you know, putting all their resources to get all these Kairos to get their 4-star characters to relics and not getting stuff to 7 stars, is that helpful? I don't know. I don't know that it is.
That's a good point.
I think it'll just depend going forward. But especially with newer characters, the Kairos are going to be huge. So unless they're planning on alleviating Kairos somehow, which they are alleviated for endgame players. Like I haven't worried about Kairos in over a year.
I don't want to say how many I have right now. It's pretty gross.
Yeah. Like Mandalore is just with Zepho and Mandalore, you just never run out. So, but like for the new players, it is a really bad bottleneck to the point where like I got my first couple pretty easily of relic characters on my free to play account, but then the next farm I went for, it's taking forever.
There's gates everywhere in this game. It's either Cartex at the mid tier, early tier, right? For trying to get those. But as you progress on, there's always something. Like for me, it will never stop. It's never going to end. Signal data, salvage. I've actually good on salvage. I have plenty of it. But signal data, holy God! And as many relic 9s as I've been, especially in the last year because of the raids and stuff. Jesus Christ, I cannot hoard signal data. One, because of the drop rate, especially the higher tiers of it. But good Lord, yeah, there's always going to be a gate, guys. Don't worry, there's a gate. There's a gate somewhere. They're going to gate you somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that a new version of progression is coming in this update that they've teased, is because I feel like a lot of the end game players are kind of hitting this point where they don't have a current bottleneck, and they're kind of hitting that point where like, why am I still playing? I'm just going after the new thing over and over again. So
It also seems like there's a big influx of credits for some reason, which like a lot of us have not needed a lot of credits for a very long time, right? So I feel like that's gotta have something to do with a new progression or something. Just doesn't make sense to like, you know, if you get these characters to R9, we're gonna give you like billions of credits. Okay, for what? What are we gonna use it on? You know? So
yeah.
So my thoughts are, I've been around, this has been around for a while. Anytime CG drops something good, there's something behind the corner. On the curtain. People are like, damn, Trey, why you gotta be so negative? But it's the truth. This is nice, the 4 stars. It reminds me of Marvel Strike Force. You can take, as long as you unlock the character, you can gear them up as long as you have the gear. Same thing we have now. It is nice. You can still take them in the raid and get like, I have the clone troopers. Not all of them are 7 stars. I can take them in the raid, get a higher score now. They're relic 3, 5 stars, boom, done. It is nicer because now I can use datacrons and stuff like that with my characters. So my roster is going up fast right now.
Donald Trump's administration supposedly just released a statement that they will be meeting with Putin next week.
Donald Trump, huh?
Details dropped.
Is my mic?
Yeah, I can pick it up.
Your mic picked that up for
Weird. I don't know why it
20
did that.
seconds there.
I was like, I was clicking on something and it popped up. I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, you guys can hear that? Christ, sorry about that.
They're all good. So I really think another progression is coming, like Beaver said. I don't know what it is. Like, they gave a hint. There's something bigger coming. They're going to ease you into it now with the 4 stars, 3 stars. You can relic. They're easing you into it now, and then, like, when Datacrons first came out, it was like, the game is broken. All hell is loose. And, you know, it's fallen. Just like remember when Jedi Knight Luke came out? They were like, anytime. Remember when reason we would always ask, why haven't we got a Jedi Knight Luke? And the rumors were, if we get a Jedi Knight Luke, they'll cancel the game.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest rumor. We got Jedi Knight Luke and we got JMO, and the game never canceled. But I really
that did feel like they were going to, like, after that they went real quiet for a while and people were like, this is it, it's done, the game is done.
So anytime they're real quiet, like communication we talked about earlier, anytime, this is how I know CG's up to something. My brother's like, well, there ain't no new content. I'm like, be patient, because when they're quiet, they're going to drop something big. Revan, Malik, Darth Revan, GLs. They're always going to drop something big. I feel like, yeah, this is like the honeymoon phase right now. The 4-star relics, and then something big's going to drop. And then people will be making videos about it. And I just feel like that's around the corner. I know it's like a Debbie Downer, but I've been around for so long, like a couple months after day one, and I just feel like that's what's going to happen. Like, they're going to ease you into it. Here, I'm going to give you $50, but then you need $150 to start chasing the next thing. I feel like that's what's going to happen. But
it's their pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not like you just pulled that out of your ass. I mean, CG has made mistakes, different releases, and I can go through them all. You know, everyone that's been playing long enough remember the initial mod release. Just as an example, anyone remember Leviathan? Just as an example, you know, I can go on and on. We have been there, done that. So, yeah.
All 3 of the meta fleets had, issues on release. So,
God.
I remember Executor, they had like 11 reworks within the first couple days. So,
and the Profundity event is just pain. God, so
I love how young you guys make me feel when it comes to being a content creator in this game.
Like, we didn't have beavers in the game. Snipperty.
When Jedi Knight Luke came out, we all remember that. I'm like, no.
Yeah, for me, I started playing around when the game was very new, but I was on a totally different account than what I have now, and it was kind of like I didn't fully understand the game, so I feel like that was not really when I actually started playing the game. But back then, Ewoks were coming out, so yeah.
Gross.
Gosh. Crazy.
But yeah, I feel like it's in a good state. Like, I just feel like I try to prepare people. There's something coming. Like, we could be like in November, December, they're going to drop something. Remember in December, they always like to drop something. Star Killer, Afra, etc.
Yeah, it's not going to be a character or anything. It's going to be something, because they hinted in that last post when they did the rogue stuff, like, "Ooh, we've got something delicious to announce to everyone." It's like, what? Uh-oh.
My hope beyond hope is that we get, because we're theorizing progression coming for endgame players, that kind of thing, red stars, whatever it might be. I am really hoping that they're also trying to bridge that gap from level 85 to being semi-competent in GAC, because that gap is like a new player killer, and I that needs to go away. Because like just being demolished for your first couple of months of GAC, unless you buy a couple Lightspeed bundles, just does not feel good.
Well, then you've got the Datacrons exacerbating that as well, because those that do invest in it, I mean, and we saw it with the last set. I'm going to be farting around with this new set and see what's up. But I mean, It was driving me crazy the way they did this last FTC set. Here's the new Dark Ray FTC Cron. The only way you're going to beat it is if you have an insane over 400% defense on and bulk Cron on one. You have the new JML that you have to use to take it out. I'm like, that's insane. So I'm like, if I'm dealing with this and Guyver one at my level stuff out, what does someone do that does get this Eslocar and Dark Ray tier, has the Cron, and the other person sitting there going, what do I do? I can't beat this. It's like, come on, man. I mean, you got to balance this stuff out a little bit. It's insane. I mean, that concept has been a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, this one is the worst feeling since the Dodge Crons, in my opinion, because my GACs. Yeah, I was planning on trying to push for Kyber 1 during this 5v5 and like going for that route because I'm really close and I was running really well in 3v3 regardless of the stupid challenge streams that I was doing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to push in 5v5. We're going to get there. And then 5v5 started and we saw how ridiculous the focused Addercron was. And as someone who doesn't have JMK, because why would you go for JMK in the current meta? I get a coin flip once per GAC to see if I can actually play the game.
You do that, dude. I watched you go in there with, I think it was Bane. You tried Bane first or something, and it went disastrous. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
And I can see it on your face, where I was like, oh, well, no. I was like,
yeah, I don't crash out often on stream, but this month I have crashed out on stream a couple times.
So I'm not the only one.
No.
Well, I always get that random RNG. Like, I always have a win. I get those fights where I'm like, I've done C solo gas a million times, but like I lost one of the rounds because that's all I needed. That went C versus gas. Why is Gas still getting his protection back or something? And it is fights, and he had the fives Datacron on him as well. So it was exacerbating, and I ended up losing that. Get the hell out! What do you mean? But I know that was going to happen. I would have brought in one, you bastards, you dirty turds. So it happens, but it's just compounded because until you really fully, and I know you guys looking at people's roster, like you got to have a balance as you bring your roster up, because if you don't, you're going to get your ass caught on something. Because the chances are they're going to have a cron or an FDC that could get you, or you just don't have the right team or makeup. You're going to get something that you just have nothing. You don't have an answer for. So yeah, I mean it's really. I try to watch and look at people's rosters that are dealing with GC as much as I can when I do roster review. 4, 5, 6 million, or around 9 million, trying to get in the 2. Or Kyber 3, and they're struggling, and it's like, well, yeah, you gotta, do some. You might want to get Star Killer. Just gonna throw that out there. That might help. Instead of just having 7 GLs, so it's wild. I'm curious to see what these new Datacrons are gonna do, because that Rebel Leacron, good God, that thing makes 2 teams OP as hell. Vader on defense ain't gonna be much longer, because if you put on Bo, she'll eat it alive. But if you're feeling frothy, go put it on a CLS team and go kick the shit out of the other GLs, because they will not get a turn. I think it's wild. So it's going to be crazy coming up here in the next round of GC and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the focused crons. Like I'm getting more and more vibes of like the regular crons are kind of garbage and only the focused crons are good.
Though they did reduce the cost of them, so that was good, because that was the major. I direct shit is way too expensive. Like if you want more investment, be reasonable of like what the expectation is of what people need for these, because if you've done Conquest, it's not enjoyable having to do the same shit over and over again, which you have to do to get the mats to do that with refreshes and stuff. But yeah, that's and a couple are just level 9. They're not 15 like the Wampa and the Sword Crons. So I like that too. But in your statement about the other crons just as important. Like when I'm focused on GAC, 3v3. I've got 6 level 9s on the other characters. 3 are Inquisitors, 2 are one's for Talzin, one's for Night Trooper, and the other one's Rose, because put 25% on the level 3, get Rose doing her thing with her level 9. That team will kick the shit out of a lot of stuff too. So those level 9s will matter. Just that the 2 level 15s for Rolo and Vader are going to be on something that's going to make your head explode, and we're going to have to figure out, like I had to do with SRKR defense with JMK. It's insane.
I don't think they're as powerful. Like the level 3 on Leia is pretty powerful. I tried it. I think that's all you really need unless you want the other stats. But I haven't seen a lot of Vader stuff out there yet. But I don't think it's gonna be like, I think they toned it down a little bit. Like you're not gonna see a lot of, we don't see a lot of SLKR focus crons on this new set. Like they've toned it down. Like
Yeah, I hope they don't do GLs anymore with focus crons. I feel like that's just a little too much.
Yeah, the GLs, and be very careful on the lifters, because that really, I mean, Dark Raycron is because you've already got the synergy between them, because she is his lifter, and then you add all that additional stuff where people can't die, and then you have those. That's what makes that thing so gross, and why you have to have the GML Cron on JMK, because you just have to survive. So you try to take her out with like Ahsoka, because that's the only way you can get around that. Because I tried it with JML team with that Cron, and it got obliterated the first time I faced it. I was like, what the hell is this thing? Oh my god, that is good lord.
Yeah, I was shooketh when I saw the 1.83% on SWGOH.GG for that counter with JML. I was like, that's wild.
Yeah, so we came up with the GNK counter, and it was sticking with for the rest of the time this is here. The other one is that the Krennicron, like you talked about the Vader, but the Krennicron on a Queen Amidala team will destroy anything.
yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
That's a viable option that you can use. And then the thing you have to be worried about too when you start getting into higher levels is that defense percentage number on that Bears Cron on a raid team or something will eat your ass alive, man. So I mean, you see it at our level. So when we see this stuff, we tell you possibly could see it lower levels. Hopefully not. But you know, the reason we go through the hell in a situation is so that we get our ass kicked. You see it, and you know when coming up that you can have some ideas of what to. But oh god, yeah. I still have. I'm nervous about this new set. I think there's going to be something bad's going to be a part of this again. I don't know what it is yet, but I know it's coming. It happens every time since he's been introduced. Yucky.
I
wish
feel
all
like too,
FBCs
like, isn't that kind of the only place we get Omicrons, more or less, other than like the few random drops that happen in Cantinas from the whatever episode currency stuff, right?
You get them in the store. You also get them on the tracked.
Yeah, the track too. That's true.
You can get them from Cantina pulls on certain nodes. There's a few other places you can get them. Yeah.
But yeah, like for me, I'm so like backlogged as far as what I want for Omicrons that I can hardly imagine spending anything on a focus datacron.
They make a difference, man. It's unfortunate, but it is. And if you repeat it, like you start getting to cover 2 and cover 1, you have to have these things because you will get destroyed if you don't. And it's unfortunate. And it really bothered me this last set that really the only 2 counters to SLKR was one GNK himself. But everything else, if you look at SWGOH.GG, was like you're just rolling the dice, right? You know, it's just like, so let me get this right. The main way to beat this FTC is the other FTC on a team that most people don't farm. Right.
Excellent.
That the Gron was not intended for. It's like, Jesus, give me a break.
I will say, I have fallen in absolute love with the Jawa focused Datacron. It is so much fun. I've taken against like the Luthen Cron and the Mon Mothma Cron, and just giggled to myself as I watched 46 thermal detonators explode. It's beautiful. I've even in Squad Arena, I was able to take out Leia's team with it before, which was wild to me. So Leia was the only one alive. Everyone else was dead. And I was like, this is great.
The Utini.
Mm-hmm. Those are the focus datacrons I want more of. Give me an Ugnaught datacron that gives Ugnaught like synergy with some random faction or something like that.
I'm just looking at the Wampacron 2 is like
Wampa's probably basically for stats, basically.
yeah, it's going to be a stat cron. Now, in threes, I think you can use that cron against a lot of teams, but in fives, that thing's going on somebody on a team of 5 characters. You're not going to have it's just not as strong as say the Sidious cron, where you could go use it against the Mercs or something along those lines. And the Sortie cron is definitely a stat one.
Yeah, I mean I've seen some people chatting about it. They've lowered the prices a little bit. I can say like a lot, but a little bit. But yeah, I just don't think they're. That's my brother. He said, "Where's your? Why'd you wear it?" That's funny. But anyways,
I was not gifted it per our arrangements.
But I still feel like they're as strong as the Honda Hermit Yodacron, SOKR Cron. I think they're more stat wise. I feel like it's toned down a lot, and so that's just how I feel. Unless I'm just not seeing the footage, but we're gonna see more footage when GAC comes out. But
the first week of 3v3 is when we start getting a taste of what these things can do and not do on offense and defense. And so that first week is always scuffs, just straight scuffed.
it's like the Wild West the first week.
It really is. I hate that they do it on threes. It's like, no, goddamn fives, because that's really what it's going to be, the big thing. Threes is supposed to be something else, but the fact that the way the cycle works, it's always the beginning of threes, which completely screws you up, because what works in a 3 with a cron is going to be totally different than a lot of times that you get with in fives with the cron too, because you have a couple more people on the team that do dynamic stuff that affects it. So it's like, oh god.
Can we start a petition to bring back the 3 months of 5v5 and then 1 month of 3v3?
I would be more than glad. But I know some people love 3, so and I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah, I feel like they're lying though, aren't they?
I mean, to be fair, I got it back when I was like in Bronzium and Chromium, that area. It made it so my roster could swing much higher because I could break my teams up more. And so when you have small rosters, it works really well, but anyone else, it's garbage.
Yeah, that's something that I should have thought about when we were talking about the state of the game. I feel like the state of the game is very good until every week 3 of 3v3, and it's
The
like the
week.
worst I don't know, just worst overall, like everybody just seems upset. Everybody's in a bad mood. They're like, F this game, like
5v5s in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Well, if you
They're
think
like, I
about
can't
it,
wait for this week to be over,
you go from one stress to another, because if you don't have a raid going, that just adds to it. Conquest is, you're trying to get stuff done for Conquest, so you're still in the second week of Conquest coming up, right? TB's coming to an end, so come that you're trying to get that going. TW's kicking off. You're getting ready for that week of 3v3. So you end the weekend going into Monday, not stuff, and then here comes a bunch more that you got to start worrying about in 3. So yeah, it gets a little daunting. You go from plus during that week too, we'll have TWs going on, so you've got extra PvP stuff happening at the same time. So if you add a raid, and then you're really having fun with your.
Call it Hell Week for a reason.
Yeah, they come in different cycles. The end of any GAC into TB into raid into Conquest is just. I've been begging CG for years. Can we please break this up day wise? This is insane. You know, it's like that Monday is just you finish GC, whether you did or not. But then here comes Conquest, here comes TB, and if you have a raid that was started or you're in the middle of, that's just started. Well, but not to mention, there's marquees and other events going on. So yeah, it's pretty awful. Oh.
Yeah, if they did like even not 3 months, if it was like 2 5v5s for every 3v3, I feel like that would be an improvement.
Yeah.
Personally.
I feel like if we wanted like the perfect system, out of the 12 months, we'd have 0 3v3s. You know?
So I saw your idea, and how about no? How about no?
It'd be cool if they had like a exhibitional like 3v3 going on, like in the off week that we could just play if we really wanted to.
Yeah,
for
1 week
no
of 3v3,
rewards.
have some fun with it. Just if you want to or not. Yeah,
Nobody would sign up for 3v3.
I would just for
back.
some shits and giggles if the rewards were good enough. I mean, I'm always looking out for stuff, but I mean, it'd have to be some decent stuff, you know.
I mean, just being able to like invite, a couple people on your ally list to just like a expedition, just exhibit, just to have a fun one. Like, they have the content creator GAC, so they have like something in place that allows them to do something like that. Like,
Oh yes.
let me invite people on my off week and have fun with some friends.
Yeah, I used to play this one hero collector game that you could like set these sort of defense teams sitting on your roster, and you could click on anybody in your guild and just play against one of their teams at any given time.
Marvel
It's
Strike
pretty
Force.
cool. No, well,
I mean, Marvel Strike Force has that
now
mechanic.
you can do that in War, but no, that was a game that like predates both of those games a long time ago. But I think it was literally just called like Hero Collector, no joke. So
What do we want to call this game? Well, what kind of game is it? It's a hero collector. Oh my god. You genius. You absolute genius. We'll call it Hero Collector.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was probably Japanese, and then they just didn't bother trying to translate it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Hero Collector, here you go."
It sounds cool. You say it in Japanese and then in English. What?
Yeah.
So my next questions is let's go over the pirates real quick. So what do you think of GL Hondo and the pirate faction, the good, bad, or ugly? We don't know a lot of.
Is ugly. No, I'm just joking.
We don't know a lot about them yet, but still.
Well, yeah, we still need more information, but I mean, I could give two shits less. I'm only working on them because there's a GL involved. I try to stay on top of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Honda. He's a favorite of mine. Right? Hey, I may not be getting younger, but I'm older. I mean, that's the kind of shit you like in Star Wars. But it just feels like it was forced. This is content that's forced. I mean, if you love Pirates of Star Wars, God bless you. Seriously, I mean, it's just not something when I think of Star Wars that immediately comes to mind. I could list off 100,000 things that come to mind with Star Wars. Yeah, it's there. It's important. If that's your favorite thing, cool. I mean, I have no problem with that. But this faction itself, I'm just not motivated like I was for like when they did the clones for Lord, Order 66. I'm like, hell yeah. And then we got the Vanguard stuff. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And then there's pirates. What? You mean like Yar pirates kind of thing? Okay, well let's see where they're going. Now I really thought Maz. Oh, Hondo.
I think she would make also sense as a GL too.
Yeah, but that's not the route we're going. But we're getting two cool teams from it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just not enthusiastic about the pirate shit at all. Like the new era battle. I took all the other characters who were like 9, and I've done the era battles and stuff. But this one, I was like, I'm Relic 5, Relic 6, Relic 7 on me. I'm not taking these guys any higher. I don't care about the rewards. It's just not on my radar, man. I just can't.
Yeah, I spent the entire announcement of the pirate era and everything and all of the, oh pirates to come and they'll be part of the raid. I'm like, being part of the raid is not enough for anyone to justify farming this. They've got to have something else. And they're like, GL Hondo and Aka. I'm like, oh, of course. If there's a GL, people are gonna go for it. So like that is the only thing I feel like keeping people going. Like there's people out there, like I've got a buddy who Ithano Quiggled and Kicks. Like he loves the storyline with them and they're his little passion project. And like, yeah, sure, there's people out there like that. We all have our little peepees and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I don't know, it's not something that was on my bingo card, and it's not something that got me excited when it did show up. So it's just like, okay, I guess. Like I would have killed for speaking of pirates, like they gave us Quiggled and Ithano and characters from Skeleton Crew. Give me the Haxie and Brew, is that their name? The guys from Jedi Survivor. Like give me Dag and Gara in there, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'm all in. I'll get Dag and Gara, absolutely. I'd move, heaven and earth to get a Dag and Gara. But like, I don't know. Most of these pirates, it's just.
Swamp?
Yeah. Like, what's the topic? Pirates, right? Just in general, pirates.
Well, GL Hondo, and what do you think of the pirates?
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of a swing and miss to not use like the Skeleton Crew characters. Like, there's literally 5 of them in the show, so it'd be pretty easy to go with that. And it's very, very popular show. Not it's not the coolest Star Wars stuff to ever come out, but still, I think it would make slightly more sense than just like random pirates from different eras and throwing them all together and stuff. But some of these pirates are definitely cooler than those characters. But yeah, I feel like that's something they could have done, and then maybe have multiple waves of the pirates or something like that. But yeah, also I thought it was kind of weird that they're like, yeah, this is part of the raid, but what do pirates have to do with Order 66 really? Nothing, right? Like,
Yeah.
but to me, like, I always dislike when they bring in characters that in the show, like show or movie, whatever media they're from, are not combat characters, and then we're bringing them into a combat game where they're good at combat, such as like back in the day, Newt Gunray. Like, to me, that's a useless character. Like, why is he coming in here and he can like take out General Skywalker, say, or whatever at the time? Like, he was very good, right? Jocasta Nu, I feel kind of like she fits into that category. I'm sure she's very capable, but like, is she the strongest Jedi to ever live? I don't know.
That was the worst foot CG could ever start on for that era. So there's characters that are like widely hated in Star Wars. Jocasta Nu's my just specific hated character that there's no like fully rational way that I can explain to people how much I absolutely hate her guts. And so when they were like, we're making Order 66 content and the first character to revealing is Jocasta Nu, I was like, I'm not even gonna spend a cent. Like, screw this. Like, Jocasta Nu's the first day one conquest character I haven't gotten in like a year and a half. Like, I couldn't bring myself to get her because I despise her with all of my heart. I cheered as a child in the Star Wars Episode 3 video game where Anakin stabs her through the chest. I cheered. Like,
canon, they made a comic book, and
you literally put anyone in that same comic book with a lightsaber gun and they're instantly cool. All she did was break some codes in the Jedi and go and do something for revenge. Like,
well, she got the codex out basically, with all the kids and stuff, and created the new library, but and then gave herself basically I thought the comic was really good. I mean, I could. Everyone just remembers it from Episode 2, just kind of telling Kenobi to kick rocks, But if it's not in the Jedi, it doesn't exist. Like, damn. Cocky much? Jesus.
And then in Clone Wars, doesn't spot the shapeshifter, but the 14-year-old Padawan does.
I know, but it is. So there's always characters, but it is what it is. It's the one you hate is the one that someone else loves, right? So,
Dude, I would give a high five to anyone who says that Joe Castanu's their favorite character. Like, seriously, I would be like, dude, you are a rare breed.
I mean, there are people that I know hate Ahsoka. I mean, hate her, and then there's a lot of people I know, and especially on the women's side, that, I mean, that's their favorite character. They love her. Same thing with Rey. A lot of people despise Rey, but then there's a whole generation of people that just adore Rey, right? So, I always tell everybody, you love what you love, but there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, the anger is justified, but so is the love and the passion.
Yeah, for me, like, I don't love or hate those specific characters or anything, but to me, when you bring like non-combative characters into a combat game and make them like much better than they should be, it drives me crazy. Drives me crazy.
Finally, we all get the results.
It's like bringing in like, like say they did do the skeleton crew and then having like the Neil, the like elephant shaped face person, have him being like OP, this guy who like in the show is grossly incompetent, can barely walk, right? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my take on it.
My take,
yeah, non-combative characters, leave them out of the game, please, in my opinion.
So my take is, if it's going to be a GL, you need something that sells. This game needs to make money. We all know that. We need something that it's going to sell and make them money. When they say GL Honda, that doesn't think it's going to. They would have had better success with Crimson Maw as a pirate. That would have sold. I would have given $200. Here we go, baby. Let's go. And I would have been like, here we go. I'm not, but something's got to sell. And Pirates is, I'm chasing it because of the GL. You don't want to get behind. But it's not a really good selling point. Smugglers Run 3, they're just throwing things in there to make you go chase it. Because Ahsoka did not get a event like that. Leia got a shitty event.
So didn't get any event.
I know. Jabba's on
Patrol, kinda.
Yeah. Jabba got a good one. Smugglers Run 2. But people would have chased Maul. I'm not just saying because.
I thought it was going to be Maul.
Yeah. I was sold it was Maul. And then when they said Honda, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, my two things was Maul and Maz Kanata. I thought those two characters made the most sense for a pirate GL if they were going to do it that way. But
yeah, because they could have swung that. Oh, he's a pirate. Okay, they could have swung that. Or I was even joking. That never happened, but I was like Jack Sparrow's ship from the Pirates Caribbean, and I was just joking around and stuff like that. But that would have sold more than what we're getting right now. I mean, it's just not a good selling point, and they're just trying to make it where trying to find stuff to add to it to make it sell, because it's not selling.
So
I can tell you that much.
I haven't.
I think
really
it would
talked
probably
about
be
this
more
with-
desirable when. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say
no,
like because
it's
they
fine, go.
added Hondo already to the game, like people were very stoked to have him back then, right?
Mhm.
So if that still was a thing, that anticipation, maybe people would be more excited,
Could be.
I haven't talked about this much. I have a screenshot of it on my phone, but the same week, like literally the day after the Hondo GL announcement, the Star Wars official TikTok page posted a Hondo edit of like all of his different stuff from like Galaxy's Edge and showing up in cartoons and stuff. And I'm like, This seems like there might be something coming if it's the fact that it's getting shoved down our throat in Galaxy of Heroes and it's kind of out of left field. And then the same week, Disney posts an edit of the character, which Disney never works with CG like at all anymore. Like the last thing that was like very obviously Disney pushing from CG was when they were like, we're going to introduce you to the Acolyte characters before Acolyte came out like a year and a half ago. So
Yeah.
there might be something from Disney where Disney's planning to push out something Honda related soon.
Yeah, I feel like it's pushed right now. Go ahead, Ranger.
Well, I'm just looking at what Madness is saying in the chat. I mean, I could list off so many characters in faction right now that would just be extraordinarily popular in this game. Like I talked about this on my stream the other day because I get asked it all the time. Like, what do you think should come in? I don't know. How about this cool Empire? How about Corian, his kids, his wife? That might be a cool little 5-man team running around. How about the Celestials? The father, the brother, the daughter, Abeloth, right? You know, I'm just throwing ideas out there. How about real Bane, not season 7 Clone Wars Bane, although voiced by the great Mark Hamill. But like Bane and Zana, that'd be a fun little duo to run around with. Again, I just start listing all this stuff. It's like there's so many characters that they could go with and factions. Anybody heard of the Vushin Vong? Kind of a lot of cool shit there that they could introduce in the game.
So, not to disagree with Madness, but I would give my left testicle and maybe my right for a pajama Count Dooku and a light side Mara Jade to lift up the Jedi Knight Luke team.
Jedi
I'm
Master
just saying.
Mara Jade, that would be fantastic. I mean, Kip Duran, Cornhorn, get the whole crew in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they just need something that sells right now. That's what it is. And also look at all these pirates that are coming out. Look at their Omicrons. They're all
TW.
A lot of TW ones. That's the most territory ones we've ever have. So
are you looking at a revamping of Territory War in the future update?
I'm thinking because look, I mean, I just think something's happening because they all have territory wars. So I'm just like, something's big could be happening there.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if I'm because
Han and Chewie having 5 or 6 different variations is insane.
but I should probably
I
Yeah, I
literally
feel
was
like-
about to bring that up, Desi. Porkins. Justice for Porkins.
I feel like eventually we'll probably have at least 5 of everything at this rate. Everything that we already have.
I love the fact that it obviously doesn't run well, but I really hope we get a focused Datacron one day of it. And they just like labeled the Datacron Han Solos, and it's just a 5-man Han Solo team. I would love that so much.
Giving them ideas now.
All hands on deck.
Porkins, Red 5, and Red Leader. Like, where's the Red 5 we've been teased for a year and a half? I mean, come on, meathead. I messaged him about it the other day. I'm like, where's the fucking Red 5 you've been teasing? I mean, I don't know. Pirates are just not selling for me. Like, I don't get excited about that. I don't like a lot of the fan base. When I think of Star Wars, I ain't thinking of pirates.
Yeah, I think there's a potential. I think there's a really interesting potential. I talked about this when I was with Nooch. I think there's a potential because this game gives us a love of characters we don't normally love. For instance, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren started out as Kylo Ren is the only like semi-good thing about the sequels to me. To being like, that's my boy. Like I literally play with my buddy on Battlefront 2 and he's like, my boy SLKR, let's go, and plays as him as a hero. And like just because he's so fun in this game, it's caused people to enjoy him more. And I think that if they make the pirates fun with their mechanics, not good, because a team can be good and still be really boring, aka Ahsoka.
They have
You
to go
need to
Gungans.
make it fun.
They have
Yeah,
to go
like
Gungans.
something. Exactly.
Gungans, I hate the Gungans, but that faction in this game is fun as hell to play, and I enjoy using them. Like I'm kicking shit out of jobs with that team, and it is
Yeah, and so
fantastic.
like do that. Give us Gungan version of pirates. So the Hondo kit needs to be really fun, and I think the steel mechanic is a good step in the right direction. And it remains to be seen how well this works and everything with Moz and all that kind of stuff. But like overall, it needs to be really fun to play, and I think they could redeem it, and they could get a lot of after the fact FOMO purchases off of this and still repair, this whole thing of where all of us are just kind of like, I'm getting it because it's a Galactic Legend in Smuggler's Run 3. To going, I want to go for Hondo because his kit is fun. So if they do it well, I think there's a chance that kind of reverses.
Also, I think, I know a lot of us have talked about this, Acolyte, where it got canceled, I think they had to push this faction hard because Disney pushed them. Hey, we're getting so much backlash from Acolyte, they even get a season 2, that we're taking it off the merchandise, we're taking it off everything. You're not allowed to talk about it. Here's pirates.
Yeah,
I
Another
definitely
thing
think
that's
that's
kind of
gonna go-
weird too is like the timing. Like it's coming out considerably after the raid starts. Like if we go back to the old cadence where it's like whatever 9 months to a year per raid, what we're gonna be getting this guy for like a couple months of a raid that's gonna be gone, and then you know
Yeah, if you don't get them
kind of
right away,
seems weird.
I mean, I'll get them, but it's like I've missed 3 months of the raid, and that's fine. If it's going to be a year, I get them for 9 months. But for everybody else, it's not like where we're at.
Yeah.
Then I get them toward the tail end, and it's like and those MK3s that from the raid. I mean, those things matter, man, for being able to take characters higher up to buy the stuff like the impulse detectors and things of that nature, right? So I don't know. I kind of get a sense too. I was kind of thinking about this today. I was streaming like, I bet you they do ships next for the pirates, right? It's just a break from other characters. Then we get ships, and then I bet you they start doing some Andor season 2, or Andor characters just in general introduced. That's such a huge hit.
I think Andor would sell.
Oh, it'll sell big time because and it's doing banger work for them.
Is it the number 2
shiplifter? Please.
Yeah, Lutheran ship would be amazing. I would die for that.
I got to get going. I have somewhere to be in about 20 minutes. I apologize, but thanks for having me on.
No problem, man.
Good
That's
hanging
right.
out with you.
Good to see you,
Have a
Rabid.
great day.
You too.
I got about 10 minutes myself.
Yeah, we'll get off around. Yeah, let's get off around 10.
Fine.
I'm just reading everybody's comments here. Yeah, I want to thank Beaver for coming on. I want to thank everybody else for coming on as well. Like it was a last minute thing. I haven't done this in a long.
This morning, hey Ranger, want to join the show?
I was like, well, I was inviting lots of people, but they were all busy. So I was just like, all right, invite Swamp, invite. I didn't expect Beaver to say yes, to be honest. So he did, but I do appreciate him coming on. Because we've never hang out or anything. But yeah, I just want to thank all the streamers for coming on. Well, we had one last question that was from somebody from my Discord. Let me pull it up here.
Sure.
Let's see. What does CG need to do or improve to keep SWGOH relevant for the long-time players?
I think we kind of hit on this a few times.
Yeah, we've kind of been talking about that throughout the chats, but I think a lot of us agreed that like TW needs a big shift.
Mm-hmm.
Like something needs to change there. And of course, we were talking about like a new progression system that would obviously be, longevity-wise, a huge move. What else do we say?
I think and some work on GAC. It's a lot of the PvP stuff that's really got to, progression in PvP just in general was the main thing. JCTW, they've got to take a hard. Yeah, we've got, as I said, the PvE side with Conquest TV, the raid. Okay, that's great, but a lot of majority people play for that, that competitive side. Take your characters and all this hard work, fight it out, right? I think that's the biggest thing, right? Progression's big, right, for players. I mean, besides just working on the latest stuff, or yeah, I can't think of anything else. Did we talk about anything else? I think this kind of covers the two things.
GAC, Territory Wars. We need to feel like Crystal's another place.
We need more paywalls. No, I'm just joking.
There's plenty of those, goddamn.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why Yeti quit when he did, because he was playing quite competitively, kind of top 150 kind of thing, and then when the calibrations came out, he's like, another thing to spend on, and it was just too much, right? Like, we already had datacrons at that point and all the other things that you're constantly spending on. He's like, I'm done. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of the biggest things is GAC, Territory Wars. I feel like Territory Wars needs I hate to say it because I like GAC more, but I feel like Territory Wars needs a revamp before Great Arena.
I agree with that. I'll agree with that for sure. I mean, GC's had some love, and with the FTCs and Datacrons, like them or love them, they do change the fights enough to where it'll hold us over until the TW. We've been begging for TW since 2019. That's been on the list of things. 2020, I would say, of ask from the community over and over. Again, like they did the revamp of like the tiers, right, and the rewards, but then they haven't touched it since then.
Yeah, the gameplay stayed the same too.
Well, the gameplay just turned into
here's our datacrons.
It's like the matchmaking's broke. But when it does equal out, but it's like you know what to expect when you're doing TW. It is not a surprise on the teams you see on defense. So yeah, it's just.
It's definitely not a surprise the ships you see on defense.
No, it's the same fleet, man. It's the same fleet. Yeah. You're gonna get the Executor one, and then the back is out of your.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus Christ.
Also about Territory Wars, I'm just reading everybody's comments where everybody's talking. So back late when they did the revamp on Territory Wars, it was Mace could do certain things. Like certain characters who do different things in Territory Wars.
God, that's so bad.
But a lot of big, we got a lot of backlash, and they didn't give it time to breathe. But right now, I bet you people will be begging for that right now because it's just so stale, boring. The match is over once you just do your Territory War compare. I mean,
once you compare, if it's an even matchup, then you're in like Flynn, right? But I mean, like my attitude toward TW is if we win, great. If we lose, great. I still get stuff, and now it's like okay, who cares? It just hasn't changed. But the teams have gotten more, and it's gotten crazier. But it's stale. It's boring. There's no real justification. Like I'm in a almost 700 million GP guild, and it's like we could give two shits about TW. At that level with our GP, it's like we're not really hard up for droid brains that bad. And our philosophy is this: you want to do TW, do it, and if you do, you commit to it. But if not, then sit out. We got about like 10 people that have no interest in TW, and this is a high ranking guild. They're like, I have better time, babies in real life and something to do TW. It's like, all right, we'll go with the. It's like. And they just can't be bothered. They don't want to find it boring and monotonous, and it's ridiculous,
I mean, I just think the bracket's too big. 350 versus whatever.
I don't know why that never changed.
I know. I'm just like, if you're gonna make a revamp, you need to set another bracket in there. At least 550, 530 to up. It'd be a little at least competitive. I don't know what the biggest guild is out there. What, 700, 750? But yeah, just make it, put another bracket in there or something because the matchmaking is terrible.
It's broke. And again, if people want to be mad at something, but for WWE mad guilds, don't give a shit. or and stuff. Be mad at CG for creating the system that is broken, that is set the stage for all this stuff. That's their thing to fix and answer and take care of, not the guilds doing whatever they're doing, whether they're sandbagging or just don't give a shit. They're just doing what they didn't set the system, CG did. So, it's like, but to not touch a game mode for that long is just mind blowing to me, especially a game as popular and as involved as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah. And everybody, like you said, everybody, or not everybody, but most people do have some inclination towards PvP. So the more you can make PvP interesting, the more people are going to love the game. So I remember a long time ago, Cubs fan Han was talking about a cool idea for TW where you could have different zones where it's like kind of like 3v3. Hear me out. Where it's like you have like one zone that's like all 3v3. You have one zone that's like 1v1. You have like maybe a 6v6. It's something to like kind of give you something little bit different from what we're used to. I feel like that would go a long way as far as like engagement. People might be more interested in it if there was something a little bit different about it.
Someday, please, God.
Yeah. All right. Well,
especially 1v1. I would be very interested in some 1v1.
That would be kind of fun, but it's just something, And you mentioned that, Trevor, about when they brought in like these. What they fucked that up about was one, they didn't test this shit because it was way too OP for the characters that they did buff up, and the other problem is they started taking away characters and teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's an automatic no. You can't allow people to invest all time and energy. You cannot do this. It's different like in an event because there's a certain faction thing in an event, but when you have a thing like that, right, or anything like that, sometimes you can do it, like certain factions and teams. But when you're talking about TWGAC, where it's all hands on deck, like it was like you can't use these teams. Like, no, I think that's El Stupido Grande. That's not going to work, and that's what really threw people shit back then.
I think
you're right. They just disappeared with TW since that point.
Yeah, they got mad and then tucked their tail, and left. Like, something didn't work doesn't mean you just give up on it. And like, if they did that now, it would go huge because TW just sucks right now. I feel like if they would just tweak it, it would be huge. You tried it in the past, it didn't work. You know what didn't work, bring it back in and just tweak it and have better rewards, and just do that tweak. I feel like Territories would be back in game.
Yeah, me and the boys, like every time stuff got tough at work, we gave up. There'd be a lot of leaky roofs in my area, I tell you.
It's just, I don't know. They just gave up too soon for it. Just because, like,
we'll see.
It is. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap up because I want to keep you guys longer. I got to eat dinner, and Ranger, Ranger Swamp been on here since 7. It's almost 10, so it's almost 3 hours.
Yeah, my roommate's dog is also kind of going berserk upstairs. I feel like they are ignoring him, and I'm probably the only one here. So
I have to potty, damn it.
I want to thank Swamp, Beaver, Ranger for coming on. Let everybody know where they can find you guys at.
Twitch.tv/SwampGrass420 for me. Also, YouTube.com/@SwampGrass, I believe.
Okay.
And you can find me on Reality Skewed Gamers on Twitch and YouTube. Easy to find. Just do Reality Skewed Gamers. It'll pop. SWGOH. You'll find both in the search. So, yes. But
yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming on. Well, we had more questions, but I skipped over a lot because we just kept going and talking. So, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. Friday night. But I thank you guys for coming on. Well, thank everybody chatting it up. I'm just reading everybody's comments. We hit a nerve on Territory Wars. Well, thank you. Thank thanks everybody for the subs. The alerts did go off. I tried to mute them down so why everybody was talking. But thanks for you guys for the subs for the channel. I appreciate it. And I might do stuff like this more often. Bring special guests up on here and go from here. Seems like everybody liked it. And that's about it for me. And you guys have a great day, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.